ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Wayfarers. This is episode number 8. Last time, the team was deep in a cavern filled with silky spider webs, questionable mushrooms with interesting shapes, and a very large broodmother who has been causing a great deal of evil and terror throughout the land. But Carl, Mendax, and Nigel put their heads, beaks, weapons, and items together and wrested the victory. What will happen now that they have slain this broodmother? Find out right now.
Alrighty-o. Great to be back. Good to see all of you. Ash, Pig, Jimothy, Neuro. Hope you guys have been surviving the quarantine well, keeping your social distancing going, I hope. But yeah, I think Jimothy gave us, yet again, one of the best intros. Last time, you guys did defeat the brood mother of the spider cave, which ended this kind of epic 3-session quest that you guys were on to destroy this creature and hopefully calm down the griffin that's been kind of affecting the town that's been nearby. So that was the whole point, to remind you, is this griffin's been attacking people. You guys had an option, either go kill the griffin or to go try to hunt down the spider. And you guys opted for the spider, and you've been successful. You've gained a companion in the process, in the quirky little kind of golem goop, who still has not been quite figured out all the way. And if I recall correctly, last time Mendax did get the poison glands from the big spider, right? I believe you went down and did that. Okay, good. That's what I thought.
I got a bit dead.
Yes.
But I got the gland.
That's good. So now that that's been taken care of, I'm pretty sure that's right where we ended. And you guys got a level 3 off of that. So I don't know if you guys want to go like one by one and kind of explain what you guys chose. Level 3 is kind of a big level for a lot of classes. You guys got to choose like what path your character is going to go down. So if you would like to just give a little bit of what, if you had to pick anything, maybe what that choice is and why you picked it, or whatever you want to do. I don't know. Neuro, Mendax, Nigel, whoever wants to start. You guys start it up.
Well, as a Birdbarian, level 3 is a big level for us, because we get to choose our primal path. There are various paths a Birdbarian could travel upon. The Totem Warrior, the Berserker, Storm Herald, and so on. Carl, feeling the ferocious energy of the demon soul he imbibed in that forbidden potion, will now walk the path of the demon. This is a new path, not very well known to the world. Basically, there's the soul inside of me, and at certain points, when I go into a rage, it's not just a normal rage, where I'm just upset. Carl will grow larger, by about 2 feet. Normally he's a rather large kangaroo, but still they're rather agile and smaller. He becomes very large, his beak grows and gets razor sharp, and his eyes glow red. And he can bite enemies once per day. He could claw them with his very ferocious and sharp claws, which are further enhanced in this demon form. And he could also thwack them with his tail, thwacking them left and right, just slapping the shit out of them. That is the path I have chosen. In addition, I have this hit die. It's a D12. And do you know what Carl rolled on his hit die for the level? He rolled a 12.
Yeah.
So I am an even more thick-ass bird than I was before. Up to 48 hit points. Level 3 is a big level.
Yeah, level 3 for you definitely was a huge level. 48 hit points is insane. I don't know if that's close to the max you can have at this level. That's a huge amount. 48. I mean, that's like level 4, level 5, maybe even level 6 territory for some classes. But yes, Path of the Demon for Call. Excited to see how that one pans out. Some untested kind of beta content for the game, so even veteran players may not be overly familiar with it. So it's gonna be pretty fun to see how you use that. Mendax, what did you pick?
So I picked Assassinate for the specific reason that the word ass is in there twice. But it means that my propensity for stabbing is going to get even better now, because I have an advantage on my attack rolls against any creature that has not yet had a turn in combat. And if any of those creatures are surprised, it's an automatic critical hit. That's right. I get stabby very quickly. I'm also getting proficiency with my disguise kit, which I add to all the time with plenty of pants and shoes. And the poisonous kit. I do love drinking. Be careful you say you're cut down next to me.
Awesome. Yeah, Path of the Assassin for Mendax definitely ups the lethal ability of the rogue. Stealthing is going to be a lot more useful for you when you go into combat. Previously, you just get advantage, but now hitting somebody that doesn't know that you're there, instantly crit. I mean, you're talking about just deleting enemies from the battlefield. It's going to be nuts, the amount of damage output you can have. It's going to be crazy. Awesome. Nigel, how about you? I think level 2 is where you picked your school, so that was kind of the big one, but level 3, I know you probably grabbed a few more spells. I think you grabbed a few more.
Indeed, and I believe that a lot of people might be wondering, why, Nigel, have you been snacking away so much? And it's because I am just absolutely famished, you know. It was a long adventure, a long journey, but I can feel my muscles growing, and similar to Carl, I also rolled the maximum of my hit points, and almost doubled my hit points from 12 to 20. So I am rather swole compared to where I was, which was about as skinny as a teenager who'd never lifted anything heavy in his entire life. But, you know, everything is relational. So I'm getting a little stronger, and I'm committing to my school of magic. The school of illusion, of course. As much as I love setting things on fire, I think true mastery is found in tricking those that we oppose, playing the mind games. And of course, I have chosen Mirror Image, a spell where I can create multiple illusions, 3 illusions that split off and mimic my actions during combat, and anybody trying to target me has a very good chance they end up hitting the wrong copy of me. I also have chosen Invisibility, so I can touch something or someone, and turn them invisible for up to an hour. So I am very much looking forward to using both of these spells.
I have a question.
Most certainly.
Can you touch yourself and turn yourself invisible?
This is a question that I have actually not answered yet, but I was just thinking the same thing myself, and that I should have consulted some sort of magical master of this world, a god perhaps, who controls such concepts, or maybe simply test it on myself and see.
I'm almost certain you can turn yourself invisible.
I was thinking I could.
What is this spell? Is it just called Invisibility?
It's just Invisibility, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, here it is.
Yes.
Yeah, you are a creature that you can touch, which is the only specification for a target. So absolutely. Keep in mind it is a creature, and I don't think you can make invisible inanimate objects with it that aren't on a creature. So anything that creature or thing has, they're invisible, and everything they have on them is invisible. But if you just touch a boulder, that will not be. I guess unless maybe you're saying the lizard is carrying a boulder. I don't know. We'll get to that. I love it. Absolutely love it. Level 2 spells open up for wizard at level 3, and it's just such a massive power spike. Not only do all of your level 1 spells, or almost all of them, get to be cast at level 2 spell slots if you want, which we went over. Basically, that doubles the amount of damage that you can do with them. But now you get these super fun, really, really, really interesting utility spells like Invisibility, I love mirror image. That's going to be so much fun to play around with. So I'm proud. As a wizard main myself, you've made me very proud, Nigel. Thank you. Didn't just
Glad to be
go
of
for
service.
didn't just go for the damaging ones. Love it. Okay.
Scorching Ray
And-
was rather attractive. I do like setting things on fire, but I managed to
There-
contain myself.
There are some very good damaging ones, and it's not a bad idea to pick those up eventually. But I love the initial choices you took. Fantastic work. As a last sort of note before we head into the adventure today, we are once again using the audio and app provided by Soundtail. I believe their Kickstarter is still active, so if you like the music that you guys hear, I'm going to be playing around with it a little bit more while we're doing this adventure. I've been enjoying it a lot. It adds a lot of fun atmosphere to the adventure, so feel free, take a look at them. Definitely go in and give them your support if you're interested. Awesome. Okay, so without further ado, let's get kicked back into the adventure here. I believe we ended in the cave. Was there anything in this cave that you guys specifically wanted to go and do before heading back to the town and turning in the quest, as it would be?
I was wondering about those mushrooms, but I'm not sure if any of them were salvageable. The blue ones on the spider, since I didn't think to actually ask Mendax to fetch those while retrieving the spider glands. And they were kind of burnt to pieces. But was there any of the magic mushrooms that we were able to salvage?
So, you didn't specify quite at the time that you wanted to take a look at those. You did do quite a number on them. Your last attack, I believe, Burning Hands, able to just totally crisp up the rest of the spider's head. You might be able to, if you, just to remind you guys, so the spider is kind of hanging upside down, grabbed into this net, and Mendax had to kind of traverse down to the spider's brain area, head, in order to rip it open and get these venom glands, which she's super excited about. I know, very, very happy. So, from where you are, you can't really see. I mean, the mushrooms on top of this spider's heads, they're not obliterated, but you don't think you're going to be able to get the whole thing. You might be able to get a few samples if that's what you're interested in.
Yes, for science and to potentially show to any knowledgeable alchemists to explore and see. So if possible, Mendax, would you like to go on another trip foraging for some mushrooms?
Oh, I would love nothing more than to climb right back down into that brain cavity and reach for some more mushrooms amongst the visceral leftovers from the glands I've ripped from this spider. Let me just go and do that.
They could be worth a lot of money, so
I'm
let's look
going.
forward.
Okay, yeah, let's go. I can do that. No problem.
Okay.
You buried the lead there, Nigel. Lead with money, and I'll jump.
I'm learning to know you better every day.
Only to be fair and remind you guys, the spider is hanging over sort of a black abyss-like darkness of an undetermined amount of length. So you don't know if this is 10 feet to the floor or several hundred. Precautions might be a good thing to take in the event that you fail a few of these rolls. Not that I'm hoping that happens by any means, but just a word of forewarning.
I mean, that's fair. I think, did last time we tied the rope around me, I believe?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
let's use the exact same mechanism as we used just before.
Agreed.
Okay. Perfect. So, Mendax, give me 3 dexterity checks. 2 for getting down there, 1 for getting a sample of mushrooms.
Okay. 3.
Let's see what you get here.
An 8 plus 3, so 11. Ooh, a 6. And an 11.
Okay. Let's see. An 11 and a 6. You are, whether it's the fatigue starting to set in, or if you just aren't able to catch your balance as efficiently as before, you feel very unsteady, kind of traversing down this spider. It's a very kind of scary situation. You've walked across rooftops before. You've trapezed across buildings, but you've always been able to at least see the ground. which has been at some point of the day, at least a little bit of comfort. Now, though, you're kind of staring into this abyss, and it's starting to get to your head. Make a make a wisdom save to keep yourself going before you kind of psych yourself out. Let me know what you get.
Ooh, I got a 14.
Okay, 14. You're able to muster up the courage necessary to keep going, but I'll need another dexterity save to see if you make it all the way through to where you need to be before cutting into the mushrooms.
Don't fuck me on this. Alright, let's go. A 10.
10. Okay. Still a little shaky, not as sure-footed as you'd like to be, but you're able to make it down to the head of the spider, and kind of, plant your feet in such a way that you feel fairly secure. You pull out that dagger, that's your handy one that you almost lost last time, if you remember, and you can start carving away at some of the mushrooms that are, again, growing out of the back of the spider's head. So it's pointing towards the darkness, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So the mushrooms are hanging down. So go ahead, one more dexterity save, and then that should be all we need.
That is a 13.
Okay, 13's going to be good enough. You collect what you assume to be a decent-sized sample. A few kind of larger stalks that are all kind of grouped together. You just slice and you grab, put it in your satchel, and you head back up the spider. Yeah, you're all set. You're good. You can give that over to Nigel, no problem. Nigel, you can write in, like, we'll call it for right now, blue spider mushrooms would be good. Blue spider mushrooms.
Spider mushrooms, my favorite kind.
I do love me some spider mushrooms.
Spider mushroom ravioli is actually quite nice.
I go
than
more for
stonefish.
fish myself.
Awesome. Anything else we want to do? Or are we just heading back out? I won't make you guys, role play the walk back out, unless there's something specific in the cave that you want to go and see or do or try to get.
I don't remember there being any bodies or piles of bodies that I did not check for pants or shoes or gold. So I'm fairly certain I've gotten all of those that I can get.
Okay. Let's say Nigel. Call anything.
Carl, the Kenku, the Barbarian, Mendax, and the Rogue. Nigel, the Wizard, taking out the Broodmother, saving the city and the town. I just want to kind of celebrate. I'm in a good mood overall. We've been very tense this whole time. And finally we took out
cause for celebration.
this big boss. So now we are actually the bosses. That's how it works. You go into a cave, there's a giant boss. You kill the boss, you are the boss. So this is our cave. It's kind of shit, so I wouldn't want to live here, but yeah, we did a good job.
Oh wait, do we have any spider meat besides the fingers and the shrooms? Do we have any spider meat? Because there is still a very large angry bird outside.
There is no. You didn't pick any up. You got the poison glands, you got the mushrooms, and then you got those creepy, like almost humanoid-looking fingers.
We may need to just pick up some spider meat off of the dead spider corpses on our way out.
Actually getting some spider meat from the Broodmother might be even better, because if the Griffin is pissed off at the Broodmother and we showed the Griffin that we killed the Broodmother, then we might be friends.
We have a
That's
really
a
logistics
logic
problem here. Should work on our planning. But if everybody agrees, I suppose I could jump one more time for a nice meaty bit of mum.
We'll say you don't have to climb down. So to recall, the spider's kind of hooked through the net and hanging upside down. You could probably cut a section of that net area and just carve into its abdomen, thorax, whatever, and get it that way if you want to. By all means, if you want to get a trophy specifically, I want the head of the spider, I want its brain, you can have it. You just you got to go down there again. But in this case, if you're just looking for some spider meat, we'll call it, you can hack some off of the legs that are curled up. You can hack some off of the body that's basically pushed up against the net.
Carl, As a bird person, what do you think would be most effective to show?
From the brood mother?
Mm-hmm.
Or the face. Something of the face. A spider could lose a leg and still be a dangerous thing. But if it's lost its head, it's probably dead.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Just grab some of the mandibles or something.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
A bit of the mandibles. The head might be a bit too large for me to
You don't
carry.
need to take the whole hecking spider out of this cave.
I'm trying to figure out what kind of
No,
pulley
just
system
need
you
to
guys are
dissect
going to
it
be
into
setting
the
up
smallest pieces possible.
to try to get it up the 40-foot climb. That's
No.
you
Oh
know.
god, yeah. I do feel like I am doing a bit of an autopsy here.
Love it.
Okay.
All right, so you're gonna go back down.
Yes,
again.
I haven't taken the rope off yet, so the rope is still on me.
Okay, let's get some more. Do I even want to make you do checks at this point? I feel like it's a little redundant.
We call her the coroner. At this point, she's gained expertise, and there is no risk anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. We can. It's free conversation now. It's not any kind of time super sensitive. We'll say for the sake of redundancy, when you go down there to get the mushrooms, you were able to also rip off the 2 mandibles from the spider's head. I won't make you do it.
Ah! I'd like to scream like that as I do it.
Okay, you do
It's a
certainly.
warrior's
Retcon.
scream. Does it echo in the cave?
It does quite loudly,
Mushroom
actually.
Excellent. Quite nice. Thank you.
That was quite a
Okay.
good battle cry, Mendax.
I have been listening to you when you go into your rage, honestly, Carl. I've been trying to do my best to emulate it.
That's good. I'm proud of you. Do you want to get the heck out of here and go see about this griffin, if it's still lurking about?
Would very much love to get the heck out of here, then go back to town and, I don't know, potentially visit the butcher. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm also going to gather any shoes caught in webs that I may have left behind and make sure my footwear is fully attached as I head on my way out.
Okay, well,
Absolutely.
the extra shoes that I gave you after those ones, you can just go ahead and give those back to me and I'll keep them safe.
Of course.
I hope someone is keeping a track of the wardrobe
I am.
because okay, I'm not. So.
At least 'cause I'm keeping track of all the pants and shoes giving out.
Okay.
Right
Good
now I
enough.
have 1 pair of extra pants and 1 pair of extra shoes, but I'll have 2 once Nigel grabs his shoes from Alleluia Jackson, which are stuck in the web, and gives me the crappy leather ones that I took from the pile of dead bodies.
How far off
Absolutely.
is Mendax from having a level up as a merchant?
I mean, I've seen no attempts to sell these things yet. All I've seen is her give them away to people.
I just
So
give them
actually, if
to
anything,
my
kind of
friends.
negative merchant levels.
I am the worst merchant. I'm a charitable giver. You know, I take a lot of flack for maybe having stolen, domestically foraged 1 or 2 things, but I give lots of footwear to my friends and pants. From the
That's
waist
fair.
down, I've got you covered. That's my new merchant slogan.
Oh my god, that's actually awesome. Okay, yes, you're able to. If you're set in this kind of large, you're done with this net area. You've got the mandibles, you've got some mushrooms that Nigel's happy about, and you've got the poison glands to give back to the druid who promised to make you some kind of neato craftable consumable thing. Fair enough. So you guys head back up. You're able to take your time with the climb. You don't feel the need to rush like you did before, where you're kind of had a bit of a time crunch. Essentially, you're in a hostile area. You don't know for 100% that there are no spiders left in this place, but you're kind of feeling a lot more at ease, and you're now starting to feel fatigued. You took a long enough rest after you guys killed the spider that your muscles started to kind of settle in. So going back now and attempting to do this really long climb, it's not something you can really achieve quickly unless there is a very direct purpose. So you take your time, is what I'm trying to say. Nigel, when you go back up, you do come across the shoes, both of them stuck in the web, as if some invisible person is just standing straight out from the wall. And you kind of, again, take your time because you do recall your previous encounter with a bit of a shudder how close to kind of tragedy you were. Probably the thing that came closest to doing major damage to you this time was almost falling down this wall. And your head immediately goes to the calculations. Okay, it's about that far down. I'm gonna hit about this speed before I hit the ground. It's kind of just an instinctual thing that you do, being the smart one, and so you kind of freak out a little bit. But you're able to get the shoes off of the wall, and you whisper some good riddance under your breath as you scale out of the cave. Are you swapping back to those other shoes? So you're gonna have the nice fancy shoes on?
Absolutely. Alleluia Jackson's shoes are definitely the ones I want to be wearing. Stylish.
Okay. Yeah, his shoes immaculately clean, even being in this sort of dust dirt area and being stuck to the wall. And you walked in them for a little while. I mean, actually for the whole cave now that I think about it, but there's not really a speck of dust or dirt on them. It kind of strikes you as very strange. But they look very stylish on you, Nigel. They look damn near perfect.
I'll take the other shoes back. It's fine.
Yeah, the old brown knockarounds can go back to Mendax, and you squirrel those away in your bag. Yeah, you guys walk through the cave. You're staying on guard, like I said. You don't have 100% confirmation that the danger is completely out of this cave, but you don't get the sense that you're being watched like you were when you were coming through. You don't hear any kind of scurrying around. In fact, it's a little bit eerily quiet from, there's not even kind of just that background hum of activity happening. Call, as you walk past the hallway where the dwarf was, you stop for a moment and you sort of reflect on what that decision meant to you, to take that dwarf's life and to fulfill his dying request. And it strikes you pretty hard. In the moment, you had adrenaline pumping. You had a lot on your mind as far as just needing to survive this cave. But now that you're able to stop for a moment and reflect, you realize how tough that decision and how difficult it was to do that.
It is my hope that his soul made its way safely to the halls of his fathers. And perhaps, whether they be in some spiritual caverns in the earth, or in some clouds in the sky, that they saw that wicked broodmother get totally destroyed by Nigel's fire, and my halberd and Mendax's stabby stab in her bow. It was a very tough call, but I think the right call. Doing this adventuring work is a messy business. I'm glad to be with you both, Mendax and Nigel.
I'd like to rest my hand on Cole's shoulder and just pat him in a very friendly way. Making eye contact, because there's just really no words for a moment like this, other than close proximity and friendship.
Well, you do take resolve in the fact that you did fulfill his last request, and that you were able to successfully avenge him, as it would be. And you do now recall as well the task that he set upon you. I believe Mendax has that ring. I don't remember who exactly took it.
I have the ring.
Okay, Mendax has the ring.
This is the signet of Colabril.
Yes, that's correct. So that is, the name of the dwarf, his son, that you're hoping to return this ring to when you make your way to Dwarven City, Tol Karaban. You guys progress through the rest of the cave when you're good and ready after taking your moment of silence or reflection on the loss of a dwarf and what you're going to have to tell these village folk. And you make it to the front of the cave. Now, as you were just discussing, not many moments ago, there is the possibility that the Griffin is still out there. You guys have been in this cave for probably close to 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours or so. By no means was it an all-day kind of thing, and so you are very aware of the fact that that Griffin could be looming outside somewhere. Is there any specific way you'd like to approach exiting this cave? Any sort of specific way that you want to try to scout it, whatever you guys want to do, let me know.
Well, Mendax is stealthy. I am a bird. I don't know if the griffin might look kinder upon me, as I'm a feathered creature. Just make sure we have those mandibles handy. We should be able to show a trophy.
We've got the mandibles. We also have a wizard who I believe has an invisible touch.
I think this is where I must ask our great Lord and Savior, the DM, would I be able to use said invisible touch already, or do I need to wait until we rest?
Oh, good question.
Oh, that is a good question. Oh, yeah, I see why you're asking. It's technically not on your list of prepared spells. Oh.
I've actually put it on my list of prepared spells, but that was me
Okay.
preparing before I thought
prepare
you know.
it.
Yes.
Sure. Understood.
Before we actually got back to the village and had our night's rest and my chance to scribe into my spellbook.
You were trying to think ahead. Okay, I will say, because I don't know if you get to add it or not when you level up, we're going to lean on the side of what we like to call the rule of cool, which is go with whatever the coolest option is. So I will say yes, you can go ahead and cast that invisibility spell at this point. You can restructure your prepared spell list, let's put it that way, to include those new level 2 spells if you like.
I mean, it's not too hard. I am very intelligent and able to multitask. I was both eating our store of dried meat and jerky to help me bulk a little bit after that fight, while Mendak spent several hours coronaring, which I believe is a word I've just invented, inside the Spider Queen's corpse. So, yeah, of course, I definitely had time to write down some new spells. And Mendax, let's try it out. I'm quite sure I've got the theory down. I probably won't turn you into a frog or some other creature accidentally, but I mean, it's almost certainly safe. How about I make you invisible? It's definitely better than getting eaten by a griffin, right?
You sound super sure.
The theory absolutely is sound. My abilities, have they failed us before? You sure saw me burn the mushrooms off the head of that great beast, and I'll just do the same thing minus the burning here. And it's all too complicated to explain. Trust me, it's very safe.
All right. Well, I'll trust you, Nigel, but I swear if you turn me into a newt or some other kind of reptilian, somebody needs to carry my pants and shoes back.
I'll take care of them. And I'll take care of you.
Fair. Okay. Let's try it.
Let's
Let's go.
So yes, you, with the patented swish and flick, you've now sort of had a breakthrough in knowledge as you realize the signs were in front of you all along, and everything kind of clicks into place for understanding the spell that you've been researching for a very long time. This is a touch spell, so you tap with the final kind of flick Mendax on the forehead. And slowly but surely, almost like a wave or water pouring over Mendax, your skin, hair, clothes, everything becomes sort of translucent. So you begin to turn invisible. The light is reflected around you. Even though Nigel is aware of what he did, he cannot see through you he cannot see any outline of you in the slightest. You are, for all intentions, invisible.
Wait, where did Mendax go?
Wait. I would like to take a quick second and just dance around the back of behind Carl and Nigel and touch him on the ear, flick him on the ear, touch him on the shoulder, and then scamper away to the other side of the hall.
Mendax?
Yes, yeah. You guys feel these taps and hear scurrying about on the ground, but all your attempts to locate the source is futile. Mendax is very weird and crazy for you too. You've never been invisible before.
Insane. Do you
Yeah.
know how many things I could domestically forage with this? This is
It's very true.
amazing.
It's literally a rogue's dream to be able to turn invisible. I mean, there's nothing greater that you could try to accomplish than to literally turn invisible, broad daylight, no longer are eyes your sort of prisons.
Honestly, at first I was a bit offended that somebody had to slap me on the forehead with their wand to turn me invisible, but I think this might be worth it. Okay.
Just keep in mind, it will expire after roughly 1 hour. So, we'd best scout things out before then.
Okay, then I would like to... I'm just going to go ahead and quietly and stealth. I'm not going to make a lot of noise, but I'm going to go out the front, peeking around, and keeping to the edge, making sure I go around the gash, don't fall into the gash, and keep an eye out for the bird. Now, make sure that you stay in eye contact with me. I need to be able to see you so that I can... Well, no, I can't. I can't signal to you. Never mind. I'll just come back and tell you whether I see the griffin or not.
Look for my signal.
Yeah, just...
Perfect. Yeah, give me a stealth check. This is predominantly to see, the sound and whatnot. You're able to focus entirely on making sure you don't make any noise.
Okay.
So you will have quite a large bonus to this check, but just for the sake of...
I've got 13.
Okay, perfect. So yes, you're able to, without so much as a whisper, meld into the front of the cave, and you make your way out. You do not see any griffins. Make a perception for me.
Oh, so it's an 8.
Okay. Yeah, you don't notice anything out of the ordinary in the front of the cave. You do, however, start to hear kind of some thudding, which is a little bit surprising. You can't quite tell what it is. It's not in front of you. It almost sounds like it's above you. Walking out a bit further so that you can see the rest of the mountain or that face of it, you see these sort of black, they look like boulders almost, rolling down the hill and kind of thudding at the bottom. One of them gets a bit close to you. You're able to dodge out of the way with ease. And you see it's not a boulder, it's not a rock, it's actually a spider. These spiders are all kind of curled up and withered, you would assume they have expired, essentially, and wherever they were hanging onto the mountain, they just let go, and they're now sort of rolling down in almost not an avalanche. It's not that many, but you definitely notice there's at any point there's probably 2 or 3 that are rolling down at a time.
Okay. I should think to myself, oh, this is what we said earlier when we killed the brood mother, they all die. So I'm not too worried about the spiders, because we were told about that. So I'd like to just continue out a little bit further, search the edge of the perimeter, and look back and above for the griffin.
Sure, it is super dark. You do have dark vision being a tiefling, but you are not able to make out any sort of bird shape, nothing flying. You don't hear anything. You don't see anything. You see no sign of this griffin.
Okay, then I would like to go back to the mouth of the cave and tell my compatriots that it seems to be clear for us to go ahead and exit, so long as we don't have our torches out or anything like that.
Did you want me to call for the griffin? Remember, I did practice its voice call with my mimicry.
Wait, am I already back in the cave already? Are we
Yeah, if you want to go back in the cave and let
Yes.
them know what you saw, absolutely. That's no problem at all.
Okay, I mean, there is no griffin out there. Do we think the griffin will be so happy at... I mean, I'm going to be invisible for another, 45 minutes or so. So I'm fine with either plan. But do you think it's worthwhile to call the griffin back down here, or simply assume that the griffin will stop acting a bit cray now that the spiders are all dead?
Look, I didn't say it was a good idea. I just said it was something that we could do.
I'm not 100% against it, honestly. The griffin was quite beautiful, and once more, I'm invisible. I care about you, my friends, but if you do die, I won't take your shoes and pants.
Well, it didn't chase us into the cave last time, did it? Because we threw it some meat? I would want to know Nigel's opinion. I'm not the smart one.
A dangerous proposition. What do you hope to achieve by calling it down?
Well, we
Voice
could
of
do
Reason speaks up.
it would be a sort of test, because they were saying, the druid was claiming that the griffin was all pissed off because of the broodmother. And if the broodmother has been slain, and you see these spiders rolling down the hill, things may have changed. And the griffin may, once again, be a peaceful burb.
Perhaps. However, it may take some time before it settles into this new valley that it has to itself. And fighting a griffin is completely off the tables. I'm not necessarily one to lie, but I think it's safe to say we've fulfilled what the druid wanted us to do. We've defeated the spiders. The griffin... I simply do not want to risk fighting it. As long as we play it safe and hide deep, if you want to, we can call it down and see if its behavior has changed. But I'm not sure of their intelligence, and if you can... Showing it the trophy may work, but I'm not sure if it's smart enough to fully comprehend that we have slain the spiders.
What if... And this is just... I'm throwing things against the wall and seeing if they stick at this point. What if the two of you went undercover into the woods, past the point of the clearing, and called for the griffin? Because didn't someone else offer us a good deal of money or some such for Griffin Feathers? And if the griffin comes down, I am invisible. I could pluck a couple.
I have a thought here, a note. Whenever you pluck a bird's feathers, it's uncomfortable and it hurts. It's kind of like having your hair pulled out. I would advise against this. If you pluck out my feathers, I might,
I would never respect you far too much to go plucking feathers without your consent, Carl. Do we think this invisibility will last long enough for me to climb up to find a nest?
Just be warned, if you strike a creature or cast a spell or anything of that nature, you will reveal yourself. I am not sure if you would be revealed by plucking a feather, but...
I mean, it doesn't really do damage, right?
What did I just say?
What if I just...
Do you understand what the word ouch means?
I think we did learn from a couple of rather mad owls back in Lakewood that it does cause some discomfort at the very least, and I have not truly tested it. I do know that a solid physical interaction does disrupt the spell. If you strike out or cast any magical aura of your own, there is an interaction, especially with another biological creature, that has a strong chance of disrupting the aura of invisibility. And Mendax, your sneaking might be quite powerful, but if you've got a feather in your hand and the griffin turns around and finds you standing there, we might find ourselves in a little bit of a pickle.
Very well.
That is true.
Having this discussion, I believe we should leave the bird at peace.
Okay, that's fine. I am totally on board. Working with the griffin.
Reiterate, I suppose, the
feather boas are so stylish, I'm just saying.
I think it was the goblin who said if you brought him the griffin's head, he would give you money. And
he wants the head? No, never mind that. Then screw him.
The gnome
I don't
said that
kill
he
the
would
bird.
make you some arrows out of the feathers.
Oh, that's right. I do have arrows, and I don't think we need to kill him to get the feathers, though. I think can we look around the clearing as we're walking away? I mean, the griffin has been flying around here fighting spiders. Perhaps one has fallen off. You have fallen off?
Yeah, absolutely. You guys are more than welcome to do that. So, is everyone heading out of the cave now?
Yes.
Gonna go look for some feathers for a bit?
Mm-hmm.
Just on our way out. Yes, just, head on a swivel kind of thing. We don't need to go upturning boulders.
What time of day is it? Is it the middle of the night, or?
Yes, it's super dark. It is, pretty much now the middle of the night. Call and Mendax, they can see just fine. Nigel, if you're going to be sort of any help for the search, you would have to have some kind of light source.
I'm going to stumble along behind in the dark and try to not trip over and make too much noise.
Okay, sounds good. So you guys head out of the cave. Let's get a perception check from each of you. Like I said, it is dark. There's a lot of debris around. Nigel, we're gonna put a -10 to yours since you're essentially searching around in complete darkness.
Blind as a bat, Nigel. Oh,
Yeah.
that's my whole thing. Right, I've got an 11.
We're rolling a
Okay.
d20.
Yes. D20, add your perception modifier to it.
Perception.
So
14.
9 plus 2 for me. That's 11. Minus 10. So 1.
Nice.
14 for Carl.
14 for Call, and you said 11 for you, Mendex, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Nigel, you're actually searching for the feathers about a foot off of the ground. You're not quite sure exactly where the ground starts and where your hands begin. So your search attempts are completely futile. However, Call and Mendax, after a little bit of searching, you guys are able to actually find 3 Griffin Feathers.
Ooh.
Mendax, this was the perception check that you failed earlier when you went outside the cave. Where you find them is actually where you guys threw those bags of meat. As this griffin was stabbing into that and eating it, essentially, some of its feathers came loose and fell on the ground. So you have in your possession 3 Griffin Feathers.
Okay, would you like me to carry them, or would you like to carry them, Carl? Either way.
Well, being as you're the one who knows how to use a bow, I would say that you can have them.
Oh, thank you. Okay, I'll go ahead and put them in my rucksack, and we can keep going, I guess.
Awesome. One last thing you guys have to kind of figure out before you are free and clear to head back to the town is there is the sort of crack in the ground, that big gap that you guys had to jump over before.
The gap? Oh, okay, yes, the gap.
Yeah. So that is still there. Paul and Nigel, you guys are seeing these spider bodies that are kind of, hitting the ground. It's for the most part stopped at this point, but you see a good amount of them that are sort of lining around this mountain. It's kind of freaky to see. But yeah, how do you guys want to deal with jumping the gap?
I think before we took turns and we had rope attached to each other.
Yeah,
So
this
the
is
first
true.
person who goes, we just tie the rope on them and keep crossing.
Okay.
We
across.
do have to handle goop this time, though.
Also true.
Do you think you can throw Goop? Carl, I mean, gently toss him with a lot of respect because he is a valued member of this party.
I could do the most respectful toss ever, maybe. Possibly.
I will say this, Nigel.
We can still tie a rope around him.
Yes.
Nigel, your body will not physically allow you to jump into the darkness where you cannot see where you're going to land. You would have to be intoxicated or under some kind of spell
Oh,
in
we
order
can
for
make
you
that
to
happen.
do that. So just FYI, that is a terrifying prospect for you. Your mind will not let you do that.
I could throw Nigel, too.
Nah, you can. You
Can you please toss Nigel?
Okay, do you want to have Mendax go across first, and then I can throw Nigel and goop and then jump last?
Perhaps I could simply light my torch very temporarily just before jumping, and that way just give myself some depth perception, and I should be able to get over the fear.
Do you
as long
want
as I can see where I'm trying to land.
to potentially alert the Griffin to our position?
Well, I will say about 15 seconds ago, you guys thought about calling him to where you were, so...
We
seems-
decided against it. We decided that no, it was a bad idea.
We're changing plans on a second-by-second
No,
basis.
we're not.
I
We're
love
staying
it.
with the same. The plan is to not alert the Griffin. We had to have a discussion, yes, but we decided
Okay.
no. So lighting a torch now seems like going backwards in our discussion.
To be fair,
mean-
spiders don't normally light fires, so I wouldn't think the griffin would see a torch and say, "Oh, it's a spider."
Fair enough. Okay. Well then, I'm all on Team Toss Nigel, but if we want to light a torch, then that makes sense. That's a valid argument, Carl.
As long as I go across last, I can light the torch at the last moment or call to one of you to do it. And then, even if it does come, we can quickly douse the flame and then quickly move away from the point where it saw us. Do we know if griffins have good night vision?
You can roll a nature check and try to discern that information.
Trying to remember.
May I assist with that?
Yes, I think you can assist with nature. Yeah.
I am proficient in nature, and I'm also a bird.
Okay.
Thankfully,
a
I
thick-ass
am.
bird.
You might be a bird, but I am a nerd, and 19 is what I've got. I remember reading a book about mysterious beasts and griffins and chimera and the likes, and I do believe I remember something.
Griffins, by your recollection, have no specific affinity to seeing in the. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase this. They have no special kind of vision in the dark beyond what like Call would have or Mendax would have. So they don't have better vision than them, but they have better vision than humans. Does that make sense?
Yes. All right, I think they can see better than me in the dark, but not quite as well as those who are attuned to darkness. I think we should be able to escape it in the dark if we hide.
Okay, that sounds about right then.
I totally lied to you. They can actually see super fucking well. I missed this exact piece right here. They can see extremely well.
So,
Sorry, it was ducks. I was thinking about ducks. Actually, I'm sorry. I totally missed it.
That's my bad. Pig's character doesn't look like a fool. I look like a fool.
You could never look like a full DM. No.
They can see very well.
So, Nigel, if griffins can see extremely well in the dark, then it doesn't matter whether we light a torch or not. It could see us anyway.
Very good point.
That is true. We were, of course, hiding in a forest previously with tree cover whenever we did evade its attention. So, yeah, is there much cover around?
Where you are now, there's that rock that was near the entrance of the cave you guys kind of hid behind for a moment. But besides that, until you make it to the tree line again, it's kind of just those rolling hills.
In this case, Carl, I think we should not bring its attention to us. Perhaps we could do a practice heft to see how likely it is you're actually capable of tossing me.
Well, I can toss Goop across.
Yeah, Goop has to be much heavier than Nigel, right? And Goop is solid stone.
He's quite
No.
small, though, and he's hollow stone.
Oh,
I
that's
do
true.
believe.
He is, what did you say, like 60 pounds? Is that what you said when he had him strapped to his back?
Mhm. He's like,
Okay.
he adds like 60 pounds, so he's heavy, but he's not as much as Nigel. Nigel probably weighs like what 120, 125 maybe.
Okay, so he's half a Nigel.
He's a half a Nigel. Yeah, he's a half a Nigel.
So, Mendax, do you want to go first, and then I can throw Goop and then toss Nigel?
Sure, let's do this. Okay, so I tie the rope around myself and I hand the other end to Carl because then he can tie that end at least to Goop.
Okay,
He tosses him.
give me a dexterity save.
Okay, my dexterity.
So it should be
3
20 plus 6. Plus 6, so this is a saving throw.
Oh, okay. D20
Yeah.
plus 6, then it's a 19.
19, yeah, you're able to, you wanted to see if you could perform that same kind of kick off the wall that you did the first
Off
time.
the wall, flip, landing into the splits, but then somersaulting up.
You're not
Perfect
able to land in the
pirouette.
splits, but you do kick off the wall and flip, so you're
Okay,
you're
well.
gonna, you take it.
I am a bit tired, so okay, fine. I couldn't do this.
I would like to quietly clap a little bit, just like this.
And then I would like to curtsy. And I know that he can see me in the dark.
Nigel, you hear clapping, and that's about it.
I assume she made it safely, since the rope is not currently being pulled taut.
Yes, Nigel, she made it. Mendax, are you ready for me to throw Goop?
Wait, how did he see me make that jump?
I have dark vision.
Aren't I still invisible?
Oh, fuck, that's right. Never mind.
He
I
just
forgot
clapped
about
for the
it.
fact that I was there. Okay.
He can see the rope, right?
The rope is just going.
Yeah, that's it. Come on. Stay on it, Apoptosis. Jeez Louise.
we've tied the rope around Goop as well, by the way. So if he doesn't make the toss, we will be able to catch him.
Yes.
Good. So that would be Call. Call, go ahead and give me
Toss that goop. Toss that goop.
Give me a strength check, and Mendax subsequently give me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, okay.
So strength check for Call, that's +3. Dexterity saving throw for Mendax, that's +6.
21.
Okay.
Uh-oh. 7.
So,
7?
7?
Yes.
God damn.
Okay, let's see if he can save this neuro. Go ahead, give me a dexterity saving throw.
$19.
Okay, so you go to, you sort of lining it up. You're gonna your plan was to toss him overhead. As you sort of take a few steps forward, you lose your balance. And what would have ended in you essentially chucking Goop down into the crevice, you're able to instinctually kind of, your many football years of practice, you kind of tuck in and not roll. You don't roll towards the edge, but you kind of just fall flat.
Oof.
Yeah, a bit of an oof. Nothing to sweat too much, but why don't you take a second, try it again?
All right. So, I'm not sure if you meant to do this, but you gave us a long rest. Do I have rages?
Yes, you do. When you level up, you get all your spell slots, all your rages back, and your health goes back up to max.
All right. So, one of the advantages of being in a rage is you get advantage on your strength checks. So, at this point, if it is allowed, I would like to rage.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. This is something you can do at will. Rage away, my friend.
Who the hell is that thick-ass bird? Carl the Kenku is that thick-ass bird. We may have failed to throw the first time, but we are in a rage now. A level 3 Kenku rage.
Yeah, so Call's form gets visibly kind of just bulks up, essentially. You almost see a glowing red haze forming around his eyes. And overall, Call looks a lot more savage than before. And he winds up to throw once again.
So,
Poor little Goop.
I rolled a 3 the first time, but I'm in a rage. So I roll again. This time,
Yep.
15.
Hey, there we go. 15 plus 3 from your strength would be 18.
Yes.
Excellent, excellent. So yeah, that is going to be more than enough to chuck little Goop over the gap. Mendax, give me another dexterity saving throw, because the first one, while it was very good, didn't need it. So let's see this one.
Oh, it's a 10 this time.
10 total?
10 total, 4 plus 6.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're not, you're catching something that was intentionally thrown at you with the intention to be caught. So that is going to be good. It's not your most graceful. You don't do any pirouettes with it. You catch them football style. It does kind of knock the wind out of you. This 60-pound rock just got thrown at you. So you take a second to catch your breath, but besides that, everything is fine, and Goop is unharmed.
Good Goop. Okay, I take the rope off of Goop, because that was the opposite end of my first rope, correct?
I think so. I believe that's how you guys had it set up.
And then, so now when Carl tosses Nigel, she toss Nigel first with half the end of his rope, and then Carl should jump last, so that there's 3 of us to pull Carl's thick ass up. If he
I love
falls.
that you think Goop is going to help you pull Carl up, but yes.
No, but we could anchor it on Goop.
We can
It could
sit
be an
Carl
extra
on the
anchor.
rope.
There we go. I love it. Okay, perfect. Okay, so the next plan then is to throw Nigel, is that right?
Are you ready, you smart wizard?
I'm going to curl into a little bit of a fetal position and just kind of tuck myself into a bit of a ball so you can toss me.
Nigel,
Okay,
you trust
okay.
me?
Nigel.
Mendax, are you catching him? Are you gonna try to? Are you gonna attempt to catch? I just want to know.
Yeah,
what
I'm going
rolls
to
need to be
attempt to catch little fetus Nigel.
Okay. Yes, Call. Give me a strength check here, but this is gonna be a bit harder.
Who's the thickest? Who's the most dangerous Kenku? Who's slay the brood mother? Who's gonna throw his wizard friend across the chasm? It's Carl! That's a 4, not very good. And a 5 plus 5 plus 2 is 12.
Okay. All right, you're trying to throw 120, 125 pounds. It's not the easiest by any means. So
He did
keep...
just eat a lot of jerky. It could be like at least 120.
That's true.
He's bulked.
Hold on, I have to look up how far I said the crevice was. Certainly, I think I said it was about 8 feet or so. Who is the other end of the rope tied to?
I thought it was
Nigel?
tied to Carl. Like, Carl would have
believe-
to be the person to pull him back up onto his side.
Okay. Nigel, are you looking at all where you are? Like, or are you just like, nope, just whatever happens happening, covering my eyes, and let's go?
I am looking. I believe we also anchored it to a rock, right? If we're using the same setup we used before.
I think he anchored it to Call on this one.
Just to Carl on this one.
I think
And the
Carl
rock was on
is
the other
the-
side anyway, right? Yeah, no worries.
Yeah. So
I'm standing on the other side expectantly with my invisible arms outstretched, which
you
he
can
can't
see what's happening.
But
You
I'm
can-
ready
yeah.
to accept. I was going to say the package, but I'm going to rephrase that.
Good job rephrasing it. Nigel, give me a perception check at a -10 again because it's in sheer darkness. But we'll see. Hey, you never know.
We've rolled a 15 plus 2 for perception. 17 minus 10. That's 7.
All right, that's not gonna quite cut it on this one. Nigel, you're getting the arc feels terrifying. Let's just point that out. But you keep falling for a lot longer than you expect to. You're thinking instantly you're going to be on the other side, you're going to hit the ground, maybe you get caught, who knows. That's not the case. You find yourself actually, you fall into the crevice.
Well,
and
how close was he to us? My side? Can I dive forward to try to catch his hand, or like snag the back of his shirt?
He's pretty curled up. So you
How
are.
else is he in position?
I mean, if you want to jump out and try to catch him that way, you can't reach out.
Okay, no, I don't want to jump
That is
out
too-
because
okay.
only Goop is here, tied to me now, and
Okay.
I weigh like 3 pounds more than Goop, so I can't do it. So
All right,
no, if I
all
can't
right.
reach him, then no.
Call. Make a dexterity save. No, fuck.
7.
7? Okay. You realize what's happening a little too late, and you don't grab the rope and plant your feet as quickly as you possibly could. It's not. It's you don't not do it at all. It's just a lot later. Let's see, Nigel, you are going to take 2 damage from the rope snapping kind of into your ribs as you kind of plummet and pendulum swing and smack into the wall. Call, give me a strength check.
The thickest, the toughest, not the smartest. How strong are we today?
Wait a minute, you got advantage. You got advantage. Jesus, roll a little better, bud.
Oh,
Oh no. What do we got?
3 plus 5 plus 2.
Okay. What does that come down to?
This
Okay.
is terrible. These are the worst rolls I've ever had.
That was the best
He
of your
was
2
cruising
rolls.
all over.
I rolled a natural
Nat
1 and then I
20
rolled
every
a 3.
other roll last week or last session.
Okay. It's not great. It's I won't lie.
Nigel.
Call, you're not able to catch your feet. Okay, you're not able to plant your feet well enough to support your weight and Nigel's. As his essentially, it's not just him hanging. Keep in mind, it's him now plummeting down. So you snap back, but when he plummets down, it catches you off guard. You fall. Make a dexterity save, bud.
Are they both going in?
Come on.
Goop and I will tell your stories.
What do you got?
No.
The worst.
No.
Did you really?
The very worst.
Okay.
Shit.
All right. You two are now actively falling down the crevice. I did my best here. I did my best. Nigel, you wake up to what is happening, and your instinct to survive kicks in as fast as possible. Give me a dexterity save.
All right. I'm starting to hope that this is not an infinite abyss and that the fall will not 100% kill us. That is a 14 dexterity save, you said?
Dexterity save.
Plus 2, 16.
16. Okay, Nigel, you are able to grab hold of anything. You don't know what it is exactly, but it feels solid. It doesn't give way under your weight. Give me a strength check to support yourself.
Strength is not my forte.
Yes, it is.
Plus-
You've been bulking. You've been bulking.
All the beef jerky's weighing me down. I feel quite bloated. But I also feel inspired by my will to not die right now. And
It's
I
a
roll
very strong... What'd you roll?
18 plus 1.
18 plus 1. You are
So strong.
solid.
Thick ass wizard.
You are grabbed onto the side. You feel secure. Now let's see about Call. Call, you are falling. You have fallen probably about 5 feet. You are down, or I'm a little bit more than that. You are down to where Nigel is at. Give me a dexterity save to try to grab onto the side of this rocky ravine.
One good roll. That's all we need.
Well,
One good roll.
We're gonna need a couple more, but it
Two
starts
good
with
rolls.
It starts with one.
Okay, dexterity save?
yes.
9.
9. That is not good enough. You do not manage to grab hold of the side of the cliff. How much rope was between you two? How much rope? What length of rope would you have tied? Let's say.
Between the two of us?
Yes.
If the chasm was 8, we would have given a good bit more than that. Maybe.
Okay.
At least like
15?
15, 16, 20. Yeah, 20 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll say that you get one more check in falling 10 feet again, and then Nigel is going to have to try to support the weight of both.
That's not very likely. So
It's fairly unlikely. One more dexterity save for you here, Call.
Whatever birds may be, whatever demon is in with me, please, now. It's a dex.
It's a dex.
16.
16. You are able to grab onto the side. Give me a strength check.
The strongest bird, the thickest bird, the raging bird.
The demon bird. 8 plus 3 plus 2. 13 is the first one.
Okay.
Oh yes. 18 plus 3 is 21. Plus 2 is 23.
Yes, yes.
Okay. You are 10 feet beneath Nigel's position, but you are able to support yourself. What you have grabbed onto is essentially like a branch or root that has stuck out of the wall. It is not the most stable thing that you can grab onto, but you have supported yourself for now. So the position that you two are in, just to kind of let you know, Nigel, you are in a completely pitch black scenario where you cannot see what you're doing. Essentially, dumb luck was what was able to grab you onto this wall, and your will to survive is what was able to support you. Call, you can see. You see that Nigel is grabbed onto a rocky sort of outcrop, not a big outcropping, but sort of a rock that's jutting out slightly. Nigel, you're not exactly sure. It's solid. It's kind of cold. You can picture its order essentially. What is the move? Actually, I'm going to pause you guys. Mendax, you see both of your friends fall down the crevice, and within a matter of less than 2 to 3 seconds, both of them are now clinging to the wall. It's over in essentially a flash. You barely have time to react. What do you want to try to do? Is there anything that you can try to do to assist them?
I need to call out to them first to make sure that they're not falling. Just call out to them immediately.
You can see them.
I can see them. Okay.
Yep.
What I'd like to do then is the boulder that we had anchored the rope onto before is on my side, correct? Of the gash, because it's on the first side. I'm going to take the rope off of Goop as quickly as possible, anchor it to that, and is it long enough that I can toss it down to Nigel, or even better, like even to Carl?
We'll say that the boulder you guys anchored to is about 8 feet away from the edge. Okay. You should have about a 50-foot rope. So yes, you can do those things. Okay,
I'd like to do that. I'm going to anchor it to the boulder, and I'm going to toss it down far enough to Carl, because Carl does have rage, so if one of them is to slip and fall and has to support the other's weight, it's probably easier for Carl to support Nigel.
Okay, you're going to toss it to him?
Yeah, I'm going to toss it down right to where I see them. So they're right underneath each other, correct?
So it's essentially, Nigel is 10 feet up, and then Carl. From the top, Nigel, 8 feet down, Carl, 10 more feet.
Okay, perfect. Okay, then I'm going to toss that rope down to them, so that they have it.
Okay, he will have to catch it.
But it's anchored, so it's just going to lay there.
Yeah, but they're on the wrong side.
Oh yeah, they still have to find it. That's true.
They're on the wrong side. Yeah, there's an 8-foot distance between you and them. So if it falls, they're on the wrong side of the cave.
Wouldn't I be on Mendax's side, but Carl would be on the other side, because he kind of got dragged into the gash, whereas I kind of got thrown into the opposite wall.
Pendulum style. So he said pendulum before, so your pendulum would have smacked back to the same one.
So you got thrown, fell, smacked back on Carl's side. Carl's side came back down, boom. So that's
okay. I'm going to call out to Carl before I toss the rope there, to let him know that I'm tossing this rope and he needs to catch it.
In the meantime, I'm screaming in panic and just shouting, Carl, where are you?
I'm here, I'm still hanging on.
I know. Calm down, Nigel. It's going to be fine. We're going to get you guys out. Just breathe. Carl, I'm tossing you this. Do you see this rope?
Yes.
I'm tossing you a rope. It's anchored there. I need you to catch this.
Okay, so you go to anchor the rope. I'm going to do a couple of rolls to see how well those the sides of this cave are hanging on here. All right, Nigel, your side is still hanging on, but you do notice that the weight is starting to shift slightly on the rocks that you're holding on to. You do your best to find a different kind of position. You're reaching out very, very slightly. You're terrified at this point. But you're not able to find anything else to grab onto except for what you have right now. It's not going, but you don't feel amazingly confident that this is going to stay the way that it is forever. Call, your kind of root branch does seem very solid.
After all we've been through, I can feel it shifting. I think I'm about to fall. I mean, magical strangers hustling us on the road. Goddamn spider swarms. Monsters, goblins, and giant beaked monstrosities. And finally, it's the gash that's going to get us. I can't believe it.
Nigel, I need you to do something for me. Can you do that? I need you to keep your shit together. We're gonna get out of here. Sorry about the bad throw. Just hang on.
I think I can keep my shit together. I'm going to fall off.
Well, don't poop on me now.
real quick before we get back to you, Mendax, both Nigel and Call make a wisdom save for me. How composed are you in this situation? Oh, yeah. So wisdom saves from Call and Nigel. Does that come through? Sorry.
Sorry, cut out for a sec. There we
Nope,
go.
that's okay. I know we're like occasionally the audio is breaking up a little. So we're doing wisdom saves from Call and Nigel to see what your composure is like right now.
14.
Well, after a bit of momentary panic, it's 18.
Okay. And what was yours, Call?
14.
Okay, you're both hanging in there. Nigel, that outburst sort of calmed you down surprisingly a little bit, and your analytical mind kicks back on. You're trying to think of a way out of this situation. You aren't going to have any sort of impediments on your skill checks. Call, whether it's because you are able to calm yourself down or you don't quite understand the danger of the situation you're in, you don't feel too bad about where you're at. Okay. Mendax. How are you throwing this rope? You're just tossing it?
I think I would like to. I still have some rocks in my bag, I think, from when we all picked up rocks in our very first thing. I'm going to tie it around the end, like tie one of those small rocks around the end of this rope, just to give it some heft, so that I can aim it more properly.
Okay. Sounds good, absolutely. You're able to securely fasten the end of the rope to a rock. Do whatever you need to do.
Okay, Call, here it comes. I'm throwing in 3, 2, 1, throw, and I toss it.
Okay, dexterity save from you, Mendax, and dexterity save from you, Call.
Okay, I've got a 17 plus a 6. I'm math 23.
Okay, what did you get, Colin?
14.
14. Okay, 23. That is good enough, certainly. Your aim is true. Call, on a 14, you are able to, for a moment, reach out and sort of grab the rope end. And the rock is now sort of swinging from that end of that, but you do have hold of the rope that's attached to the boulder on the other side now.
Well, that's good.
Okay, what are you doing?
Okay.
What's up?
So, it's sturdy. Can I pull on it a little bit to make sure that it's secured?
Yeah, definitely. There is a lot of slack, but you're able to kind of coil up the rest of it quickly and pull. You do see that it does feel fairly sturdy. Let me take another look at something. Okay. Nigel, your rock, there is a piece of it that does chip off, lowering the amount of space that you have to hold on. You kind of are almost overlapped now with your other hand. Your strength is being tested. It is not easy to support yourself and hold yourself up. Your legs are kind of not kicking out, but they're scraping on the side of the cliff to try to find a spot to grab onto. You're not finding anything. I would say that the speed of the situation might need to increase.
I can't hang on for much longer.
Call, you got the rope. What are we doing?
I'm gonna climb up.
Okay. So the climbing up would mean letting go of your side. You'll essentially swing over to where the side that Mendax is on, and you can kind of I don't know what the.
And I'm helping to hold that end of the rope as well. Like it's anchored to a boulder in case I give out, but
Sure.
I am also holding the top of that rope.
Sure. Okay. Call. You're gonna let go then.
I'm going to let go of the wall of the gash, and I'm going to hold on to the rope and try to climb up.
Okay. Sounds good. Go ahead. You've got a solid 18 feet you need to climb up. Go ahead and give me an acrobatics check. 2 acrobatics checks.
Natural 20.
Okay.
That's a
That's a
roll.
very good one.
Indeed.
And what is the second one?
A 7.
Okay, a 7. With your first check, as you sort of are now swinging over to the other side, Nigel, you're not entirely sure exactly what's happening. You do feel the rope moving slightly, but not pulling at all. You are able to sort of rappel up, or I don't know if rappel's the right word. I think that's the opposite. You're able to move up the rope as you're swinging over to the other side, which cuts off some of the distance. With your second one, you're now about 5 feet away from the top of the cliff that Mendax is at. Mendax, give me... you don't actually need a strength check on this one. You're okay. The rock and you are able to support this, so it's fine. Nigel!
Out.
The rocks that you were holding on to give out. Go ahead and give me another dexterity save to see if you can try to find anything else in the wall that you can try to hang on to.
11.
11. Take a look here. Yes, you are able to find. It's the same branch essentially that Call was hanging on to. You're able to grab that. Give me a strength check.
Come on, Nigel, you're so beefy now. You can do this.
16.
16. Okay, you're able to hang there. But you are the rope now that is taut between you and Call. There is too much space in between you guys. Call, you're not getting pulled, but you definitely feel a tug. You're not able to advance up unless Nigel lets go.
Is there enough rope underneath Call that if Nigel let go, he could swing and grab the end of the rope that I had tossed down? Is 50 feet. So
yes, yeah, there's rope hanging down. That's fine. Yes.
Okay, so theoretically speaking, if Nigel has to let go now of the stick, then he can swing over. As long as Carl can hold the weight, Nigel should be able, even blindly, to fumble and find that rope.
Yeah, in theory, that all sounds good.
If Carl is incredibly strong and
He's pretty
manages to
strong.
hold on.
That's essentially.
You've used a hand before to pluck feathers. Can the hand, I don't actually know, can the hand reach out to grab the rope and bring it to you?
I believe it could. I'm not sure I'd be able to manage casting it whilst hanging on. It can retrieve things, and it is spectral and floating, actually, Mage Hand. All right. I'll have a go. How stable is my position? Can I free one hand temporarily to get my wand out of my robe?
Yes, but I will make you take a strength check with a negative to it because you're already tired from hanging on, and you'll be hanging on with one hand. But you can do it. You don't feel like the root is going to give way, but you're not 100% confident on your strength.
I'm still tied to Carl. Just don't worry. Get Carl up and out of here, and then I'll be able. You can pull me up from there.
Okay, but Carl, the rope that's attached to you is attached to Carl, and it's taut now. So if he keeps climbing up, he will pull you off your branch.
Yeah, you'll kind of start like if you're kind of hanging on like this, you'll start like rising until you're kind of just pulled off of your branch. There's not enough space between you guys with the rope that you tied from the amount that you told me.
I guess if I fall either way I'm going to get yanked off. All right, I'll give it a go.
Okay, so you're gonna try the mage hand.
We're going to try to do so. Strength check, yeah.
So strength check. Give me a strength check, and then so long as that succeeds, your mage hand you can cast without any sort of difficulty.
That's a 6. Saving throw?
Yes, saving throw.
+1, 7.
Okay. That is, you kind of try to make the movement towards the wand. You do not feel that is solid enough, and you go, nope, never mind.
I can't do it. I almost fell.
Okay, Carl, listen to me. If you're going to continue to climb up, you are going to have to hold on to Nigel's weight as well. Nigel, it's going to be very scary for you, but you are going to come off that branch. You are coming off that branch, and I need you to keep your wits about you, because the second you hit that wall, there will be a rope there. You'll need to feel out after smashing your face into the stone and find that rope to help bear your weight. Gentlemen, can you do this?
I can't see a thing. Can you light a torch or something? Are your hands
I can do
occupied,
that. I can
Mendax?
light my torch. Yes, I'll light my torch. At this point, it doesn't matter. If the griffin comes, well, I'm still invisible, and two, maybe she'll pluck you out of the ash. So, one problem down. Yes, I light my torch. As I'm yelling these instructions to them, I light my torch.
Okay, you light your torch and you hold it over the side so that they can get light. That illuminates the bottom, which is only about 10 feet away from where Nigel is now.
Motherfucker!
You do see that the bottom is moving. It's a rolling carpet of black. And so you see movement down there. Inspecting it further, you see that there are spiders all scurrying around at the very bottom, now terrified of the light that you have just cast.
Oh.
Okay,
How
yeah,
are they still alive?
Still very scared of falling.
Yeah, so probably... God damn it. I thought about asking you to, cast a fireball down there at one point, but then I was like, no, don't be stupid, don't waste movement. Damn. Why did it have to be spiders? Why aren't these spiders dead? I thought when we killed the brood mother, they would all die. Those are questions for another day. Are we still trying the same plan?
Is this
I can see the
Carl
other-
test
I
of
think-
strength?
Can I
can
drop?
see the
Wait,
other
can I
birds,
drop
right?
my torch down to the bottom? It should still cast light up, and that way, if they fall, the spiders will hopefully be scared enough away from the torch that they won't fall onto the spiders. Can I try that?
You can do whatever you want.
Do you say that out loud, Mendax?
Yes, I do.
Please don't. They're afraid of fire. Spiders are naturally afraid of it, and they may start scurrying up the sides of the walls towards us, and I'm already barely hanging on for my life.
I'm sorry. Oh.
Fair enough.
The Goblin King is laughing at us now.
Okay, well then, we're sticking with the original plan, and Carl, come on,
Okay.
you thick-ass bird, you can do this.
It's time to
Strength
beast
check.
it up.
Strength check for Call. Nigel, you don't need to do anything except for let go. There's no strength or dexterity check you need to do. Your life is in the hands of Call here.
17. Plus.
Ooh.
It's a saving or a check?
This is a check, strength check.
Okay. That's 17 plus 2 for the rage plus 3. That's pretty good. 22.
That is, technically you have advantage if you want to try to roll higher than the 17.
Oh, sure. No.
Okay. So 22. Nigel, with a quick prayer to every god that you can remember from your studies, you let go of this life-saving branch and gently swing to the other side, opening your eyes for a moment, only again to see that carpet of darkness that's just scurrying about below you. You wrap your hand around the rope that Mendax has anchored, and prepare to hold on as Nigel lets go. The extra 120 pounds is not too much for you to bear, as you're able to bear the brunt of the weight with ease at this point. You've got yourself in a good position. You feel strong, adrenaline's pumping, and your friend's life is in danger. You rise to the occasion, and you're able to secure yourself. Nigel, you float to the other side, essentially, and you don't smack into the wall. It's not like a hard hit, but you bump into the wall. You can see where the rope is, and quickly you grab hold of it. The material, the cloth, quickly soaking up the sweat that is dripping off of your hands from this situation.
Ew.
Oof. I can lock down though and stabilize myself. I've got it. Carl,
Yes.
climb up.
And you can climb up as well, Nigel, if you choose. So we'll say one last. We'll do an athletics check for the both of you guys. Your situation looks pretty good. We'll just try to get you the rest of the way there.
9.
Okay.
22 for the thick-ass bird.
Yeah, Call. You are definitely being careful. You're not trying to do any fancy flourishes, but in perfect form, you do manage to scale up the rest of the way. Mendax is there with an open hand and pulls you out of the crevice. Nigel, you do what you assume is your best to kind of pull yourself up as your eyes are they're not shut, but you're definitely not helping in the situation as much as you could. You don't necessarily feel the rope that's pulling you up, as you think you're kind of just getting yourself up there. But regardless, at the end of the day, you all make it to the other side of this crevice in one piece.
Yeah, it was so easy.
Good job.
I'm going to, trembling, climb out and kick the torch into the bottom of there, because
Excuse
fuck
me,
those
that
spiders.
was my torch!
I've got
One of them
spare.
still climb up the sides, and now we're up, and now they're going to be chasing us
Ah!
out! God damn it, Nigel!
Roll for initiative. Let's go. No. You kick the torch into the
Taking your torch!
the pit, essentially, and quickly it's just engulfed in darkness as it gets trampled underneath the spiders.
I want to give each of you a crisp high five. That was a good job.
I'll take the high fives, and then I'm throwing my arms around them and hugging them. So happy that they're not dead.
Sorry about the bad throw, Nigel.
I think next time I'll just jump. I weigh a little more than Goop.
Oh, I know. You don't have to tell me how much you weigh. I felt it.
It's the jerky.
Yes, you all hug and embrace and fall to the floor as a couple of you stare death in the face multiple times today, and you feel emotionally and physically exhausted. You catch your breath. Griffin, be damned. Goop walks over to your side, Nigel, and just stands there, because that's where you are. And yeah, you guys take several minutes, as much time as you need to, in order to just breathe and relax.
Well, I will say that if I didn't rage, I'd probably be dead. And you would too.
The rage was smart.
Damn, it feels
rage
good
was
to be a
very
barbarian.
A birdbarian.
Yes.
Let's always anchor any safety rope every single time we are ever crossing any large gash, gap, crevice, abyss, chasm, or any other sudden drop. Please.
It's always important to strap if you think that you're going to be in danger of going into a gash.
Of course. I mean, we trust in Carl's strength, but even he can slip when there is a sudden force, and, one must prepare for all occasions. And, I'm just wondering, Mendax, not to bother you, but you have had a few changes of shoes, and is there any chance you had any spare pants I could borrow? Because after that encounter, there's just a bit of a personal dilemma that I have.
Interesting that you should ask. I do actually still have one extra pair of pants here. So yes, I mean, I feel like maybe you should kind of waddle your way into the tree line first, and then
I'll go behind the boulder with the rock is anchored and quickly change.
Yeah. Okay, I give him my last pair of extra pants.
Okay.
I'm throwing my other pants away. I'm not going to bring those.
No,
back.
I don't want those. I don't want those.
Fair enough. Yes, with a fresh pair of pants on, you guys feel oddly relaxed and happy that you're on the other side of this journey now.
Okay.
Anything else you'd like to do? Anyone want to jump back and get anything from the cave before we go? Or no?
I would like to jump back and forth over the gash 4 times just to show off. No, I'm
just
kidding.
to show off? All right, 4 dex checks. All right, you guys make your way back to the town in the cover of darkness. It takes you, I think...
we could have some light if somebody hadn't kicked my torch down the gash.
I mean, you guys have a lantern and other torches. You didn't just have the one. You have more than one, I'm sure.
I'm giving you back my 2 best torches.
No, I don't want
thank
to.
you.
I'd rather hold this over your head for a bit.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you guys make it back. Do you want to make... It's about, I believe I said it's a 3 to 4 hour travel. You guys are fairly exhausted. Are you wanting to push yourselves to make it all the way back to town tonight? Or would you prefer to rest in the wilderness?
I say town. I want to be back indoors with locks, a bath, very close. I'd like to know that Dick the Butcher is somewhere nearby. It just makes me feel better.
Someone should be pounding the meat.
Absolutely. The sound of Dick pounding his meat, I think, will lull me to sleep.
That butcher is dying. By one regret.
I swear to God, I will give my life for Dick the Butcher. Don't you dare! Don't you dare!
All right. Yes, you guys can sort of push yourself past the point of, I would say, almost physical exhaustion at this point, and make it back to town if it is that important to you to make it back tonight. You will be extremely tired. Basically, the entire rest of the next day is going to be devoted to recovering and sleep. And you won't really be able to do any kind of combat should the need arise. And if you do, it will be with penalties. So, just making sure that's what you want to do. Fatigue does set in. There are levels of exhaustion. You guys have gone past a couple of those at this point.
Okay, yeah, I think that's fair, but I would much rather rest in town tonight than in the wilderness.
Okay. Nigel and Cole are all down with that plan.
I can see why we would want to get back as soon as possible. Makes sense to me.
Absolutely. Yes, a slog. It takes you not 4 hours, but 5 hours to get back, just from how slow you guys are moving. But propelled by some just force of determination and will, you guys are able to make it back to the town. You are upon the verge of collapse at this point. You are extremely exhausted, extremely tired. You're covered in a layer of grime and dust and muck. Though you don't even really notice it at this point. You stumble your way into the tavern as the first light begins to kind of come over the mountain. And the innkeeper is there. He looks at you with very surprised eyes and then just kind of nods and points to the stairs. He doesn't want to bother you. He doesn't want to ask you any questions. It's good enough that you're back. He can ask those questions later. Up the stairs, which are a painful climb, there are rooms available. If you, you guys basically just kick open the doors to one of the rooms, all collapsing either on a bed, a floor, or the sofa, and knock out for the night. Or we'll say the day.
Fair enough, yes. Dibs on bed.
A good 6 a.m. till 6 p.m. the next day. 18 hours sleep sounds good to me.
Yep, and that sounds about right. About 5, 6 a.m. to somewhere in the region of 4 to 6 p.m. You guys sleep, and you sleep long and hard. You don't dream of anything. Nothing comes to you in the night. Nothing disturbs you. You guys wake up. You're refreshed in the sense that you don't feel that fatigue, but you ache. Every bone in your body, every muscle you have is just pushed past its limit, and you've just remained still for probably about 12 hours or so. So you're very achy. You're in a lot of pain. But you're awake and you're alive.
Carl, does it always so sore as your muscles grow?
Yes, Nigel. That is the feeling of victory. Because if you would have died, you would feel nothing. But you have lived, and you hurt in your arms, and your shoulders, and your back, and your bum. This is the way of the warrior. Even as a wizard, your strength will be tested.
Does feel quite life-affirming.
Yes.
We've overcome a great hurdle.
I would like to, seeing that he's grown up a little bit, just smack him on the chest a few times in a way to show that I'm proud of him.
Nigel, you fall back over, and it takes you a solid 10 minutes to get back up.
I guess that's the sort of camaraderie I'll have to get used to after almost losing our life together in that gash. Bros forever
Yes.
now.
Bros forever. Yeah, you guys are awake and can take as much time as you need to get up, take a I guess a bath is what it would be, not a shower. You will see anyone that wants to heads down the stairs to the tavern, and the most of the town is in there. They heard that you guys came back. I guess the innkeeper spilled the beans, or someone saw you returning into town. And there's an audible cheer and clapping when you guys return. Several hoorays, and they just assume that you guys did it. They don't actually know, but you guys are back and you look like shit, so they're assuming, hey, they got the job done.
Oh, we went downstairs while still looking like shit. We didn't take our baths first.
I mean, they're not in your rooms. They usually there's like a tub.
No, it's like
there's
a communal
yeah,
bath.
like a
I get.
yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna. What do you think this is? This is some 5-star.
I'm sorry,
kinda...
I just thought we were heroes and heroes private bar.
It's a pretty
I'm
modest town.
I'm sure that if this town, got heroes like you guys, if there were rooms with private baths in them, you guys would be in
At
them.
least, a basin and a sponge in your room. I don't think that's too much to ask.
I mean, if you ask the innkeeper, I'm sure he could probably do it.
Okay, no, it's too late now. We've already been seen looking like shit, so might as well just.
All right.
Did you grow
You
up
look
in a
like-
circus or in a castle, Mendax?
You look like heroes, not like shit. You look like I misspoke. You look like heroes. You wear the armor of muck and grime that accompanies a good deed. Well done, everybody. And the druid comes up to you three in wiping away a tear. She's overcome with joy and happiness that to see you all three return. And she gives her many, many thanks, very kind of gently shaking each of your hands as she figures you guys are exhausted and in a lot of pain. And she just repeats over and over, "Oh my gosh, I'm just so happy that you guys returned. Is it done? Is it done? Is it over?"
Yes. We have found the brood mother deep within the spider cave, past the spider webs and many mushroom-infested spiders and strange, unspeakable things. Into her lair, we found her and slew her and brought back her venom sacs and her mandibles.
She'll nod, and she looks visibly relieved. It looks like she really didn't sleep much last night as she was worrying about you three. Do you hand her the venom kind of glands and the mandibles and such?
I believe Mendax has those.
I have them. I'll hand them to Carl. And Carl, here the venom sacks for you for the druid. I know that you're very interested in potions and alchemy. It might be nice if it's possible, if you'd be interested in going back with the druid to learn a bit about what she plans on doing with the venom sacks.
Sure. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, she'd be happy to explain what she's doing, and how she kind of is going to be concocting this brew, essentially. Let's see. Well, I lost my train of thought for a second. Druid talking. Thank you. She takes the venom glands from you guys, and each of the townspeople kind of in turn come up to you, and some of them are more tactful than others. Some of them are kind of giving you not like hard slaps on the sides of the arms, but very rough pats. These are working folk, and they have working hands, we'll say. So you feel every congratulation, and it aches a little bit more every time. But it makes you happy to see how much you've affected this town and whatnot. So, Call, you are going to leave with the druid. Is that right? Okay. So you accompany the druid to her house. We'll say Peter comes up to you, Mendax. You remember Peter from about 4 sessions ago? He was the one who went out on the excursion but survived and came back. And if you recall,
we drank milk together at the bar.
Yes, you did. You drank milk together at the bar. He was hoping, or was holding on to hope, that maybe those people that he went out with were alive. And he'll come up to you with like a hopeful look in his eye. So did you find them? Where are they? And he'll look around and kind of like look up at the stairs. Are they upstairs resting?
Peter, I don't know how to tell you this, but they all died in that cave, but they died valiantly, and they died bravely, and they died for the most part together. And I think at this point, the most honorable thing we can do is raise a glass to their memory. A glass of ale. To truly, truly honor the sacrifice that they made for this town. They deserve a toast, wouldn't you say, Peter? And you deserve to give it to them and to share it with me. The two of us. You, who went there first, and me, who went there second. Third, fourth, whatever, with my friends. Also, Nigel should get one as well. We should all toast to the memory and sacrifice of your friends.
Give me a performance check for those inspiring words.
16 plus 4, that's a 20.
Yeah, your words cut deep into the heart of Peter, who was hopeful all to this point, but finally realizes that it was foolish to hope for that. And that you're right. It is the most honorable thing to do, to carry on and live for his companions who passed away. And he'll kind of cover his head in his hands for a moment. You can hear him doing a bit of quiet sobbing.
I put one hand on his shoulder just to help steady him, and then also guide him closer to the bar.
He kind of wipes his nose off in his sleeves and kind of, you're right. You're right. I need to live on for them. A glass of milk for everyone. And he'll point to the barkeep, and the barkeep will pull out the jug of milk and start pouring it in glasses for everyone who wants one.
Peter, is milk the drink of a warrior? Your friends died the deaths of a warrior, and you would toast with them?
Have I left
The
yet?
beverage of a child?
If you have something to say, Call will say that you are at the door.
I could hear it as I'm walking away. Actually, milk is a very nutritious beverage. There's a lot of value to it for a warrior. It gives you a good bit of calories, calcium, and strength. So it's not a bad beverage.
I'll pick up an extra glass and...
I will follow you out behind that druid, and I will bird block you so hard.
There are glasses of milk, and he, Peter raises a cheers, and he'll put one in your hands, Mendax, as well, and clink and drink deep of victory, a victorious beverage. Thank you for you pour that out on your desk.
The most glorious glass of milk that was ever drunk.
Yes.
I'm definitely going to think twice again before throwing another rope.
All right. You guys are safely back. quest completed as it would be, I think this is a pretty good time for our mid-stream intermission. We will carry on in about 5 minutes or so, guys. Appreciate everyone sticking around, and yeah, I think about 5 minutes we'll be back.
Thank you for tuning in to Wayfarers, Episode 8. And we're back with Wayfarers, Episode 8, The Crushing Chasm. Welcome. We're back in town safely and have been enjoying a nice glass of milk.
Yes. Excellent. So yes, Nigel and Mendax, you are currently in the tavern. If you would like to go somewhere else, you can. If you'd like to stay in the tavern, drink, eat, you are quite hungry. I will note that as well. Call, you're pretty hungry as well. You all haven't eaten in probably over about 18 hours now. More than that, probably, actually. So it's kind of gnawing at you a bit. Call. Go ahead, Nigel.
Oh, I just wanted to slap Peter on the back and say, Peter, good fellow, I want to propose a special toast to your dwarven comrade. He fought valiantly, but unfortunately he did not have time to share his name before he was taken by the swarm.
He'll pause a moment and as manly as possible finish off the glass of milk that he was drinking and kind of slam it down on the table. He was a good dwarf. He's been in this village for years. I'm sorry to see him go. His name was Tormund.
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 He mentioned to us he had family. We're going to take the sad tidings to them in Tol Karabad. Do you know the name of his family? He mentioned his son. I believe the name was Corabil?
Yes. Oh, well, Corabil is his last name. Tormund Corabil. He has only spoken of his son, who I know lives in a dwarf town that's nearby, Karabad. Tol Karabad, that's it.
Yes.
Yes, his son's name is Tormund too. Tormund Jr., if you will.
Good to know.
Apologies, I believe I'm cutting out slightly.
Oh, no worries. He says that if you can hear me, he says that his son's name, it's the same name as his dad's. So they're both named Tommen. If that came through. I'm not sure if we haven't. Can everyone hear me?
It's smooth now. I think it's on my end, unless other people are having the same. Sorry. Australia is a country known for its high level of internet technology.
Technical difficulties.
We prepared well for 2020, the year of permanent 400 million people on Zoom calls simultaneously.
Yeah, so long as I guess someone can hear me. His son's name is Tommen as well. So they both named the same thing. Tommen
Corabil. Excellent.
Tormund Corabil.
Peter.
Never met his son.
Never met him.
He never made his way down here. As I understand, he works as one of the city guards in Karabad.
Oh, interesting. So that's all that Tormund Sr. ever mentioned about just that he worked for the city guards and shared his father's name.
Well, what do you want to know? I mean, he spoke about him here and there. It wasn't a lot.
Anything that might help us find him and get to know him. I don't want to show up with the tidings of the sort that we have as complete strangers. I'd like to know about him as much as possible so that we can deliver the news in the softest way.
Well, I respect that, but I don't really know much that might help you other than his name.
Fair enough. Okay, Peter. I feel like you probably have, reasons to to mourn a bit amongst you and your friends who knew your compatriots. So please don't let us keep you. I'm going to head over to the bar area and maybe find some sustenance.
That's fair. And he'll wave the barkeep over. Another milk.
I am heartily going to pursue many meaty, delicious victuals.
Sure. Yeah, the tavern will supply their finest dishes, which they're decent, nothing over the top, but it's on the house, of course.
Okay, can I flag down the barkeep and ask for an ale? A pitcher of ale and 2 glasses.
Well, yes, we don't have fancy glasses, but we've got these mugs.
I would love those mugs. I think those are the finest mugs I've seen in town. Well done, barkeep.
So yeah, he'll pour both mugs of ale all the way to the top. They're overflowing. He makes sure those fuckers are full and puts them down in front of you and Nigel.
Oh wait, I'm sharing one of them with Nigel.
Yeah, that's what he assumed he wanted to do. That's what he thought. I mean, you can take it.
Fair enough. No. Give one to Nigel. Of course, give one to Nigel.
Okay.
I'm eating some of your meaty victuals, though, just so you know. I will share my ale, but I'm getting some meaty victuals.
I'm already ordering seconds. Yeah, there's more than enough to go around. I am going to bulk. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll even learn how to use a halberd or a sword like one of you crazy warriors going up
you keep eating like that, though. The next time we have to throw you over a gash, you might fall in. Oh, wait. Too soon.
I think that's the last time I no matter how strong he is, I don't think I'm going to let anybody toss me anytime soon. I've been tossed enough for one day. Wrong dry, some would say.
Incredibly strong and handsome.
He would
the
need
handsome is immaterial, but it's just, incredibly strong.
Massively strong he would need to be, and then maybe, but we would need to be in dire circumstances for me to accept.
Sometimes when you get desperate, I understand. You know what, Nigel? You really did, though. This entire quest, you really did amazing things, and I am very glad that you did not, in fact, fall down and lose yourself at the gash.
I appreciate it, Mendax. I thought you were just a good-for-nothing scoundrel when I first met you, but I've come to appreciate your camaraderie.
Fair enough. And the pants and shoes that I'm always collecting for you.
Those two. I really do owe you one.
That's okay. I'm sure. I'll find more. There's always more pants to be had. And I cheers, and then I downed my cup of ale. And pour another one from the pitcher.
Yep, absolutely. The pitcher will be kept full for you as long as you want to eat and drink there. And the food will be aplenty. They are in your debt, and they want to make sure that you guys know they appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely. Let me know if there's anything else you guys want to do. If not, we'll head over to call and the druid.
I would like a bath.
Yeah, let me know when you'd like that to be drawn for you, miss. I want to make sure it's nice and hot.
Go ahead. You know what? I think I'd just like a bath now. Carl and a druid, I think, probably need a little bit of time to get everything set up, together. So I'll just go ahead. I'll take the rest of this pitcher and the mug, and I'll go take a bath. And then I could saunter over. Or I'll take a bath and then whatever. I'll come back out, get another pitcher. And Nigel, if you wanted to have a bath then. And then we'll both go over to the druid. Unless you want to go over looking the way that you do now. Don't let me stop you.
As you know, I am even more in need of a wash than you or Carl. I will absolutely bathe at the first opportunity.
That's fair. Are there multiple washrooms or just one washroom? I'm not getting in your secondary water. No offense, Nigel, but like you said, you need it more than I do. And I don't want those remnants.
Well, I mean, you see, we're not the most lucrative tavern. We only have one, but I could try to fashion like a curtain or something. Put it up in between.
No, it's fine. Does the water get changed out in between? You know what? I'll just go take it my bath first. Nigel, you enjoy your second helping of meaty victuals, and I'll go take my bath first.
Fair enough.
All right, now that we got that very important situation figured out.
It was incredibly. I'm not sitting in his poop stew.
Oh.
Noted. Absolutely noted.
You know what?
All
I'm
right.
not the fanciest, but I have limits.
Fair. That's fair. That is a fair assertion here. Yeah, so within a few minutes they let you know that the water is ready and good to go, and you can go and take as long as you want. We will head over to Call. Call, it is like I said, you guys woke up at about 5 in the afternoon, so it's not dark by any means. It's not even quite dusk yet, but you know the sun will be going down soon.
Sun won't be the only thing. Sorry.
Mendax is really rooting for a sex scene here.
I guess she is. Does she know who I am? Does she ever talk to
I'm
me?
not rooting for the actual description. I'm rooting way, like the raising of the camera, and then you see like a train going into a tunnel, and then you know what happened.
She's looking for some PG-13 camera angles, maybe some making out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh man. My poor NPC characters are all so abused by Mendax. Yeah, she'll welcome you into her home. She'll say, "Oh, here's some breads that I just made today. You must be starving. I don't know if you had a chance to eat yet, but help yourself. Whatever. Are you curious about how I'm going to make this concoction, or what is? Did you need something else?"
So, I see you have given us some very great health potions, and you've
Yes.
also mentioned being able to craft some sort of brew or poison from these glands from the broodmother.
Mm-hmm.
What might you be able to fashion from this?
She'll take well, she has the glands already. She'll take them and she'll kind of lay them out on a table, a work surface that she has, and she'll inspect it. She'll, in order to know for sure, I need to run several tests. I don't know exactly what type of poison the broodmother has, but I know it'll be potent. And she'll get several vials, different liquid kind of mixtures in jars, and she'll drop in the raw venom into several of these, noting down the color, how long it takes. Some of them kind of fizz up a little bit. Some of them don't do anything at all. You can tell that she's just essentially running an assortment, an array of different tests on this this kind of volatile chemical, if you will, trying to understand its properties and how it will interact with other chemicals and mixtures. And after about maybe 2 hours or so of doing that, it takes her quite a while to get through all of the different types. She'll go, I think I could craft for you a paralysis potion.
Ooh. That sounds like something that I should not use on myself.
No, I wouldn't recommend it. The type of toxin that these, the venom rather, that these spiders had, or at least the broodmother, it seems to be infused with some plant-like properties, this is the first time I've ever seen that before. I don't know that I've seen any creature that does a venom like this.
I would like to report an interesting feature of these spiders to you.
Oh.
They had mushrooms all over them.
The broodmother, mushrooms. The smaller ones, mushrooms. The cave, mushrooms. Everywhere.
Mushrooms, you say?
Yes.
What kind of mushrooms? What species?
Big ones.
Do you know the genus?
What's a genus? Are those like genes?
The family.
Mushrooms have families?
I'm
sorry.
She's trying to think of how to explain it. No, that's okay. And she'll think for a moment. And she'll say, just describe them to me.
Well, they're very large. There was a blue one with some veins on it. We hit it, and that woke up the broodmother, and then we fought. So it seems as though this mushroom network was connected to the spiders in some way.
Fascinating. And you said that this mushroom, colony? Was it attached somehow? Was there some sort of connection to the spider? You said that they were attached. That's not a natural phenomenon, and I've never heard of a spider species that has such an anomaly.
I've never seen anything like it. To be honest, I was rather perturbed and grossed out at the whole thing. I was mainly focused on killing it rather than studying its anatomy. There were also some bony features
that makes sense.
on the ground, something like rib cages, and one of them grabbed onto me. And I think after we slayed the spider, they relaxed in some way. So they were all connected to the life of this broodmother.
Wow. Fascinating. A spider colony that behaves as if they are all interconnected. I don't suppose you have any of these mushrooms, do you?
I think we did get some. I believe Mendax has them.
I see.
Yes.
Call, I need to run more tests. Yes, please. I would love a sample. Can you go get them?
Yes.
I need to get my notes. I need to get and she'll kind of run about her house, knocking some stuff out of the way and grabbing different vials and different sort of alchemical setups, some burners, some of her notebooks she kind of puts out onto the table. Yes, quickly. And those mushrooms, I don't know how long they'll retain the constitution after you've cut them. I'm not sure. Can you get them as quick as you can?
Very good. I can do that for you.
Thank you. Fascinating mushroom. Wow. And she'll just keep kind of mumbling to herself about how crazy this whole thing is.
So I'm running back to the inn then.
Yes, you go back to the inn, and we'll say at this point, yeah, Mendax, I mean, how long of a bath are you taking? It's been 2 hours. Call's been gone for 2 hours. Have you been taking a bath?
I have about another 30 minutes until I...
Okay, Call,
no, I'm kidding. I'm
enter
kidding.
the
I'm done.
Hey, I don't know. You can do whatever you want.
No, I don't mean that. I can't stay in there forever. I drink quickly.
When is this bath gonna be done?
I drink quickly, and I'm not staying in that bath much longer than I have ale. So, I was probably in there for a good 45, 50, and then I came out.
Okay, fair enough. We'll say, Nigel, were you looking to take a particularly long soak, or were you going to?
More of a scrub, an efficient scrub.
I see. Clinical, even. Sure. You both are back at the bar, unless there was somewhere else you wanted to go in the meantime. Call, you enter the tavern, and Mendax and Nigel are sitting off to the side, drinking, having a merry time, and eating some food as well.
Some meaty victuals.
Mendax.
Oh, Carl! How did it go?
So, it was very good. I was just at the druids. She did a bunch of tests, and it was all fine. And she wanted the mushrooms. So could I please have the mushrooms?
Carl, did she want to go and try some of the mushrooms and have a bit of an adventure together, did you?
Let me do my strategy, okay? I like to just be kind and upfront and a good Kenku first. Some people, they're all about rushing into things, but I prefer to, respect the druid for her skills.
I mean, and that's fair. Obviously, I mean, respect is very important. Are you sure before? I mean, I'll give you the mushrooms, the ones that I have. Maybe Nigel gives you a few of his. Do you think that you might want to bathe or prune a bit before you go back?
I suddenly realized how gross I am.
I just, as a friend, I would just say that might be a good idea.
Well, I left the tub up there. It still might be somewhat lukewarm. I wouldn't dather too long. We both scraped a lot of filth off in there, but it'll be enough to get you clean and respectable.
Well, just have one glass of ale with us, and I'm sure the barkeeper will put some fresh water in there. It can't take too long.
Very good. So they'll clean out the poop water so I can take a proper bath.
You don't want to marinate in the poop stew?
No. Not one bit.
Well, I can't imagine why not.
Okay,
Well,
fair.
While we have the ale, I do just want to say to Carl, you know, you've been a good wingman to me in the past, and you've taught me some things. Obviously, you've been on this earth a bit longer than me. So I have one piece of knowledge about druids, and druids love nature. They love plants and things that grow in the ground. And I have heard that they like going on certain adventures. So just in case it might move things along, here's this package with some special mushrooms in it as well. So maybe you guys could have a bit of an adventure together.
Are you giving me drugs, Nigel?
I mean, technically, he's giving you vegetation.
They grow in the ground. There's nothing wrong with them, and druids are totally down with things that grow. It's nature, and I'm sure she might be interested in them. They might be her thing.
They're locally sourced organic mushrooms. I don't see why she wouldn't want them.
Well, she did ask for mushrooms. I can bring more than one kind.
Oh my
Could
god.
probably bring at least 3.
I pass you my packet of hallucinogenic mushrooms.
Okay. Neuro, you're now in possession of contraband, but you have the mushrooms from the spider and the hallucinogenics. The barkeep pours you an ale. You can enjoy it as long as you'd like. He lets you know after a few minutes that the bath water is crystal clear.
I would like to bathe now.
All right, absolutely, go for it. How long do you keeping the druid waiting?
Not too long. It doesn't take that long to wash off. Maybe 15 minutes.
Okay.
Did he take his glass of ale in with him? Because if he did not, then I'd like to finish his glass of ale.
That's up to Cole. I don't know.
I didn't finish it. I'm not a huge drinker.
Yeah, he definitely enjoyed the milk early, so I figured he probably would. Ale. So I finish his glass of ale. I don't believe in wastefulness.
Okay. You down the we'll say half glass of ale that's left. That's like your probably 5th or 6th one at this point.
Who's counting? I'm not riding a horse, so whatever.
That's true. You are definitely getting to the familiar state of almost trance-like, not alcoholism, but being drunk. It's you almost don't get drunk. You enter like a trance. It's weird.
Well sourced.
Exactly
Well sourced.
right. Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go. Call. Yeah, your 15-minute bath makes you feel like a bird again. You know, you're clean and your feathers are pruned, my friend. You head back down to the bar. Your friends are right where you left them, getting further and further trashed. I don't know how much Nigel is drinking, but you do notice Nigel.
I don't think
Oh, there you go. The more you drink, the less painful you feel. So, there is that.
That's right. I know you said your bum was sore. Trust me, this will have no soreness.
Does relax you.
Okay,
Call,
let's-
are you heading back over to the Druid?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I have to give him the no. Wait, here's the spider shrooms. Spiders don't leave without these. Do you think she'd want spider fingers?
I mean, she seemed to be very excited to study all things nature, so why not?
I'll give these to you, and you can go ahead and hand her the fingers,
Very good.
just in case.
Thank you, Mendax.
I would like to pat myself on the back for the phrasing that I intentionally and maturely used for that.
Well done. I'm proud of you and your restraint this session. I'm proud of all of you. Okay. Call. You head back to the druid's house. She is still getting all these different glasses and vials and things. Down, she doesn't notice you come back in.
No, not lick it. High five. What are you doing?
Oh my god.
Stop hitting me with that.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's the fan fiction! It's the fan fiction!
Ladies
It's
and
a
Nice.
reality.
Ladies and
It's
gentlemen,
canon.
Cobra Venom.
Bombs and shrooms, let's go.
Oh my goodness. It's canon now. Oh god.
This is absolutely canon.
What has happened? I have lost control of this D&D campaign.
Cobra Venom took the wheel. It's out of my
He
hand.
took the
I
wheel.
did nothing.
Oh my god. Nigel X call. Oh boy.
So about Carl X
Oh,
Druid.
don't lick it. Sorry.
Holy smokes. Yes, the druid. The druid? Yeah, the druid. She doesn't really notice you come in. You're gonna... What would you like to do? She's still kind of going through her notes and opening books and writing down different results from the tests that she did on the venom.
Hello, it's me, Carl again. I have the mushrooms.
Oh, Call, yes, come in. Yes, the mushrooms. I'm very interested.
So, I have a few things here. The first,
Okay.
these are the mushrooms from the cave,
Oh, yes.
the spider mushrooms and whatnot. And then I also have these mushrooms here from our wizard. He didn't know what these were for. He heard that they were questionable in nature. I figured you may be able to know something about them since you know a lot about nature. And then in addition, some of the spiders had some human-looking fingers on them. We called them spider fingers. And they were stranger than anything we'd ever seen before. So we figured we would take some back to interpret or test. And you seem to be the person for the job.
She'll take the let's say the blue mushrooms and she'll scan them over, kind of oohing and eyeing for the moment that she has them. She'll see the other mushrooms that you offer up in kind of a very shady looking like paper bag kind of situation. And she'll say, "Oh yes, I'm familiar with these. Yeah." And she'll take one and eat it. She'll go, "They're wonderful for your mind. They open you to new horizons. Be careful though; they are quite strong." And she'll look back up again. She almost just is like, "Oh yeah, everyone does that." And then she'll perk her head back up at the spider fingers. What spiders don't have fingers? What do you mean? Do you mean their legs? You know, the parts that they walk on?
No, there were fingers on the body of the spider. It looked very wrong and incorrect. They weren't just spider legs or fingers of a spider. These were much smaller on the body of it.
And she'll ask you further questions like, were all of the spiders like this? What did they do? What function did they serve? What purpose? She'll definitely take them from you and start to examine them. She'll cut one of them open and see that it's packed with like this silk. And like just she's fascinated by the stuff that you brought her. It's Christmas for her, essentially. But I assume you'll tell her the essentially whole story of the spider cave and what transpired. Okay. If there is a specific way you would like to tell it, I will allow you to roleplay that however you'd like. If you just want her to have the information, then that's fine too.
Could I try some of the mushrooms that she just took a taste of?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I would like to take the same amount that she had.
Yeah, so you've got like 10 of these. They're small. They have like a glossy sheen to them. And they look like they've been dried, but there's almost like a coating of wax almost it looks like is over each of them. Yeah, you eat one. Go ahead, give me a constitution save.
Natural 20.
Yeah, okay, absolutely. You're able to get on top of the essentially the high that these mushrooms give to you. You don't lose control. You don't like pass out or anything like that. You can almost immediately start to feel their effects. Your bird digestive system extremely efficient at sorting out nutrition to the rest of your body, or in this case, drugs. The room, it's where you focus looks the same, but at the peripherals of your vision, you start to see swirls or almost shapes kind of appearing. It's like the pillars or the grass itself you think might be alive for a moment. Then you look over to it and you see that it's just normal. I don't know what your background would be. Call, are you a frequenter of drugs? Or is this your first occasion?
No, I mean, I've had potions, and some potions have some weird side effects, so I would say I'm accustomed to strange side effects and altered states of mind, given being in a rage and so on is an altered state of mind. So I wouldn't be too afraid or alarmed, and being in a safe place, I would feel relatively tranquil.
Okay. Yeah, you try almost every potion that you find. So there have definitely been some of those that have been very bad trips. There have been some of those that have been pretty awesome. So you recognize this, you feel content, you feel happy, you feel loose, your mind feels like it's open and that everything is good in the world. She is not really paying attention. You can tell that you actually probably been standing there for what is probably about like 20 minutes after you ate that first mushroom. She's been talking the whole time, writing things down. She's now moved on to the venom glands. She is way more accustomed to these mushrooms than you are. She probably, has consumed this like a smoker consumes cigarettes. So she just uses this as like, oh yeah, this is just, I have oodles of them. She is currently cutting up the venom gland and has placed it inside of almost like a press. And she's kind of like cranking this wheel. And you see this like green, black, and yellow kind of start to ooze out from the sides and drip into this glass, almost really large like petri dish that's underneath. Again, this is... You're kind of phasing in and out of paying attention. You're not out of control, but you can definitely tell your faculties have been affected. You're still holding out the mushrooms in your hand, and you realize that, and you're like, oh, shit, okay. You kind of pull back so that you don't look like an idiot.
Tal the Kenku brings a pack of the special mushrooms, interesting mushrooms. Chilling with the druid. I'm having a good time. It's nice to be back in a safe place and not being in the bottom of a chasm.
Yeah. Do you go for another mushroom?
I feel pretty affected presently. If I'm already struggling to listen to the druid, I would think that would create a problem.
We'll say that your judgment is not the most sound it's ever been. Go ahead and roll me a wisdom save to see if you think this is a great idea or a terrible one.
10.
Oh. You think another mushroom sounds pretty good.
Nice druid. Do you think it would be safe for me to have another mushroom?
She kind of looks up for a moment, and walks over to you, and she'll like pull your eyes open a little bit and look in at your like your irises, your pupils essentially, and she'll go, yeah, whatever, and she'll walk back over and continue chopping up and essentially straining out all of this venom.
No,
You don't get the sense that it's going to kill you or anything like that. It's not going to have any lasting effects.
Okay, well then I'll have another.
All right, let's do another Constitution save.
It's gonna be 12.
12. Okay, you're not handling this as well as the first one. Not to say that it has gone into a bad side, but those sort of peripheral swirls and creatures that are almost appearing out of these inanimate objects start kind of flooding more towards your vision. The center of your focus is no longer safe from these illusions, we'll call them, these hallucinations. As your world becomes kind of consumed with this very, everything seems extremely vibrant. Every sound you hear is magnified. You hear glass clinging together, and you really focus in on it for a second as you feel like you can almost see sound moving through the air. It's a very crazy experience. At this point, you do put the mushrooms in like your pocket or your backpack or something like that. What do you want to do? You are still in enough control in the moment that you can make some very basic decisions.
Does your room normally swirl around?
You'll see, and she's kind of in your vision, kind of rocking a little bit back and forth, even though her feet don't look like they're moving at all. And you can see she's kind of chuckling, and she's explaining, which in your perception is kind of slow and then speeds up at certain parts and then slows down again. That's simply a side effect of the type of mushrooms that you're eating. If this is your first time, it can be kind of extreme. I wouldn't recommend that you take any more of those.
Thank you for guiding me. I feel funny, but not bad.
Yeah, you are sitting on a chair. You don't quite know when you sat down, but you are now. Whether you were assisted into the chair or not, you can't really tell. Time has passed. Again, you have no idea exactly how long. You do look outside and have a kind of brief moment of awareness, kind of, I guess, a warrior's constant instinct kicking in, that it's pitch black outside again.
Wise druid, can I confide something with you?
Of course.
There was something that I did years ago that had me exiled from my tribe. And I feel a great deal of guilt about it, though I think it was the right thing to do. We were being attacked. We were being overwhelmed. And there was a box of forbidden potions that said do not drink under any circumstances. I broke the rules, and I drank it. And it put something inside of me. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a demon soul. Maybe it's something else. I believe it's in me now, and I don't really know what to think of it. But I do miss my tribe.
She stops and takes note of the sincerity that's in your story and gauges you as a person that does not often open up to other people. She'll kind of nod and she'll walk over and put a hand on the side of your head and she'll put another palm kind of over the top. And you feel a warm light kind of spreading over your head, and you go to sleep. It's a peaceful sleep. You have dreams of your family, of your friends. You have dreams of your village again before you left and did this forbidden task. Yeah. Nothing disturbs you in the night that you're aware of. You sleep through everything. You wake up and you're in a spare bedroom of what you can tell is the druid's house from the smell of all of the flowers and different herbs.
Well, what happened? Did I pass out?
You can hear shuffling from the main room again, this familiar kind of clinking of glass and such. And you stir from the bed. You can tell that you are affected still. The swirling images they're not completely gone, but they are certainly much less noticeable now. Whether your body has acclimated to the situation or whether you've been asleep for long enough, you're not quite sure. You do see that it is light outside, but it is a morning kind of dawn. It's not a midday. You head out to the main room. You can see that she's still poring over all of these books and notes, and there are several vials that have been kind of pushed to the side, blackened from fire, and you see several candles that were lit that are basically have been extinguished on their own, as in they've burnt all the way down. So you don't think she's gone to sleep. Although she does have a different change of clothes on.
Good morning.
Good morning. I hope you slept well.
I did. I'm sorry if I passed out. I still feel a little different, but not too bad.
That's quite all right.
Thank you for listening
You had a long
to my
journey.
tale.
Of course, Carl. Anytime. I'm glad that you find yourself in the company of such great friends. I feel that you're going to do great things in this world. Call it an instinct.
I'm very honored to travel with them, and I have come to accept that my path is very different than that of my family, and there's nothing I can do to change that.
Well, we each have our own path to follow, and some people are too scared to walk out their front door and take it. I'm glad to see that the world has heroes like you three.
Have you made any progress on the, sorry, I'm still kind of woozy. On the glands and the mushrooms and such. What have you found through the night?
Yes, actually. Just finished, in fact. And she'll pull out a very, very, very small vial of almost like, again, a very similar electric blue liquid. It's not cloudy, you can see through it, but it is almost looks like it's been dyed with some kind of stain. She'll say all of that venom, all of those mushrooms distilled down to this single vial. Potent stuff you've got here. Be careful.
What does it do?
And she'll hand it to you. It has a stopper that's in it, and you can hold it up, take a look at it. Well, like I said, Paralysis Potion. This will knock out I would say any regular type of creature, so long as they have regular anatomy, digestive system, all of that, so long as their blood works the same way that yours and mine does. If they ingest this, if they get stabbed by this, if this enters their system in any way, I surmise you could knock them out for about 12 hours.
Wow,
At least.
it's rather strong. I'll be sure to
Yes.
exercise extreme caution. And
Yes.
what of the fingers?
The fingers. Well, when I needed to take a break from working on the potion and the brewing, you know how your eyes get tired sometimes from looking at the same stuff. I whipped these together. I don't know, call them a parting gift. And she'll hand you a pair of gloves. And you can tell that the fingers of the gloves, you only had 8, so Mendax only brought back 8. They've sort of been patchwork together, but they're where your fingers go. She said these are special, we'll say. I can't be certain of how effective they are. I've not been, I've not used this type of material before, but with a little finesse there, a little magic here, I have a fashion for you. We'll call them gloves of climbing. I think that fits rather well.
Well, if there's anything I've learned on this journey, is that climbing is the most important skill you can have when you're up against a cliff face.
Yes, I would imagine these would come in handy for, handy. Would we be making puns?
That was well played.
Anyways, you get the picture.
It's been very pleasant being here. I'm starting to feel a little bit closer to normal now that the other mushrooms have worn off.
Yes, be careful with those. I'm not familiar with the, the workings of the Kenku digestive system, but it seemed to affect you profusely.
Well, I'm not very seasoned in this kind of activity. I've had a variety of potions, which I enjoy very much, but nothing of this sort.
I see. Potions. What is your interest? Do you just have some fascination? Do you aspire to be some kind of alchemist yourself one day?
Well, as I can pick up the skills, I have no formal training in this, but of the Kenku I've known and the other people of other kinds, I have an extremely high constitution, which means that even for the more risky, the more dangerous potions, with powerful effects and strong drawbacks, I can withstand them. And I've had a lot of fun having my abilities and my powers enhanced. So I will say, if there's a shot at trying something new, I'm up for it.
I like you, Cole. Wait here a moment.
Very
And
good.
she'll walk over to her bookshelf and kind of look through the different novels and sort of volumes that are there. And she'll pull one out and, do the whole dust off and, this should work. She'll hand you a book. She said, well, it's not much for entertainment, but it's very solid basics. Read this, master and learn the contents within, and I think this will get you further than, well, a lot of teachers will in this world. But be careful. You say you like to try potions, there are some out there that are nasty. More nasty than the one I just gave you. You need to learn the signs. What harmful ones and what helpful ones.
I understand. This is a mighty gift, and one I'm very excited about, actually. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Cole. Well, I do hope you all will stay a bit longer in town, but if you have to go, I do understand. Please send your friends before you leave. I would love to say goodbye to them.
I can go fetch them.
Oh, are you all leaving today?
Well, we should be leaving fairly soon. We've all been wrapped up in this predicament. There's these magical rings that are stuck on our fingers, and we can't get them off. We've heard that in Tol Caraban, there's someone who can tell us more about this.
See, rings are a bit out of my forte, we'll say. I can do minor enchantments, minor sort of, tricks here and there. I'm afraid I don't have much to offer you in way of information about those rings, though. I hope that whoever you look for in Tol Caraban can help you.
You've been most helpful and most hospitable. I'm very thankful.
Of course. Anything I can do to help, and I do hope you'll return again one day. Take it easy on those mushrooms, though.
I will. And I'll be sure to hide them from the authorities.
Yes, authorities. And if you have nothing really else to say, she'll just kind of, she'll walk you to the door.
I would like to give a sort of knowing nod that she has seen more of me than most people have, and that means a lot to Carl.
And she will return in kind. Some soul connecting was done under the influence of drugs. Just how it's supposed to be. Yeah, so you find yourself in possession of 3 new items. We'll call it the basics of alchemy. You and the leaf that you can use to sort of self-teach yourself. It won't be as fast as if you have a person instructing you, but while you're on your journey, while you're on your travels, if you find yourself with some downtime and no apt teacher, or you can't afford a teacher, this will be able to progress your skills, up to a certain point. And gloves of climbing, you can imagine what those do. You don't know exactly the effects of them, but you figure you slip those puppies on, and you won't have any sort of issue needing to, climb up the sides of like sheer cliffs again. And a potion of paralysis. We'll say potent potion of paralysis. The triple entendre.
Ooh. Do I know about how many charges it is?
It's a very small vial. But we'll say that before you leave. She says it's probably good for 1, maybe 2 if you're only doing this on 2 small creatures. So gnomes or halflings, 2 charges. Regular sized humans and tieflings, kenkus, 1.
Got a good bit of stuff in this trip.
You guys made out pretty well.
Yes, we did make out.
Except they didn't.
Call was asleep. You never know.
Ooh.
No, I'm just kidding.
It's called consent, DM.
Listen, I'm just saying that it's a Schrodinger's box.
Mendax can write the fan fiction.
Oh, and don't think I won't.
So
if you have any fan fictions you'd like to write, please go to www.wayfarers.fanfiction.com.
We need a fanfiction Wayfarers channel now in Discord.
It's not a bad idea.
Checking.
I don't know. That's
No, unfortunately, the URL's taken, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
Giving the
Hit
people what they want.
random88@gmail.com.
Cobra Venom. Giving the people what they want. Oh.
I think they're much closer now.
Playing hard to get.
Oh, this way. Flip.
Oh my god.
It's like Spider-Man! They just got down. That's what the spider fingers were for.
Oh.
There you go. Everything has a use. Perfect.
Are you
Alright.
massaging his head?
So now.
Wait,
shall I-
is it morning for all of us, or is it back when Nigel and I were drunk and said goodbye to Carl?
No, so it is, I mean, unless there is something you specifically wanted to do, it is pretty late at night. And you are content if you keep going the way that you are, you'll both just pass out at the bar and probably wake up in the morning there.
Yeah,
Besides a little bit of light ribbing, and Nax, you should see if Dick's ready to pound his meat. See if we get something tonight.
No, we're totally gonna go. We're gonna go see Dick tomorrow. Tomorrow, Dick is on the menu. It's on the schedule.
Oh
we should stock up. We should stock up. They're gonna
We
be on the
need
road.
to stock. We need meat in our pocket
A lot more meat.
before we go.
I'm gonna
Agreed.
get big, just like Carl. You know, I'm already
Yeah,
getting
you
bigger.
are. You've already been bulking up. You look so much bigger than when I first met you, when you were helping me break out of a very unfortunate prison situation, Nigel. You're an excellent wizard. I don't know if I've told, but you're a really good wizard.
Thank you. You know, I think Peter was onto something. I think the milk is pretty good. I think it's helping me get
Shut your. Don't even say that again.
big.
Well,
I mean,
no, actually, if it's fermented milk, it's actually not that bad.
That
I've had
sounds
some
like fun
fermented goat's
juice.
milk, and let me tell you, fermented goat's milk, that's a party. Is
Okay,
it-
you both pass out at the bar before this conversation gets any more weird.
We're going for realism here, all right?
That's true. You guys are
We are
dedicated
met
characters.
role players.
That's the actual level of discourse that Mendax and Nigel have when we're a few ales deep, okay? Me about 2, her about 12, but...
Enough to open up the conversation for sure. Yes, you guys awaken. Both of you roll Constitution saves.
I've got this. Easy peasy.
5.
Mine is a 19, but plus... Is it a saving throw? So plus
Yes. Constitution saving throw.
22 then.
Okay, 22 and a 5. Yeah, Mendax, you're feeling just fine. You feel great, refreshed. Best night of sleep you've had in a while. Nigel, you have a very familiar feeling from the first time you started drinking. You feel not sloshed, but definitely sluggish. The light hurts, sound hurts, moving around hurts. A little bit queasy. You kind of have to take it easy that you're not moving around too quickly.
How is this fair, Mendax? You drink 6 times as much as me, and somehow I'm 6 times as fucked up as you ever are. How is the world even fair?
Nigel, if you learn anything from being outside of the tower, it should be that the world is not fair.
Really not.
It's not fair at all. I've been drinking a lot more for a lot longer. It's like exercise. You have to work your way up to it. You know. I was in the theater. This is what we do. You'll get there one day. Trust me. Hang out with me. We'll get you there.
Ugh.
Fair enough.
Would you like some milk? I've been told that's a good, simple drink for people.
The thought of drinking or eating anything makes me feel sick.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Mimosas in this tavern.
Do they have what? Mimosas?
Yes, a sparkling ale with a nice citrusy beverage on the side.
They have one type of ale, and they will put in orange in it if you want. That's about it.
I would Oh, that sounds quite refreshing. I would like that for my please.
Sure. He
Here
looks
for
over
breakfast?
at Nigel and kind of like clinks around another mug. Not sure on what you want to do. Fair
Look
enough.
away,
And,
Nigel, because I'm very much going to enjoy it.
So yeah, he'll put the mug back down in a way and just get you some water. And Mendex, he'll get you an ale and a couple orange slices in there for you if you want some kind of fancy tiefling drink. He's all fine with it, whatever. Call, you are you heading back to the tavern? Where are you heading to?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you enter the tavern. And you can tell Nigel's been drinking, and it feels like shit. And you can tell that Mendex has been drinking and feels fine.
Good morning, comrades. How are you doing?
Oh, Carl. I'm quite well. Nigel he's felt better, but you know what? Nigel battled the ale last night. He battled his mugs, and he's come out alive and a victor. So he had a warrior's drink, and he'll be fine in just a moment. But more importantly, sun's up, but now Carl's back. How was your visit with the druid?
It was amazing. If I were to describe it to you, you wouldn't believe me.
Shut up.
It was intense.
I knew it. I knew it. I go to high five Nigel. Nigel! Up top. High five. You nailed it.
Also, I have some things, some gifts. You know
I
those
bet
spider
you do.
fingers? You know the spider
Ooh,
fingers?
Mhm.
She was able to fashion them into some climbing gloves. They have the magical power of helping you not fall into a chasm.
Oh, well, there's two of you that have an exceptional difficulty with that.
Hey, we made it out. Didn't we?
You absolutely did.
Yes.
But it did require some extra climbing.
Whatever it takes. We made it out, but now it should be easier for us next time. In
Agreed.
addition, the venom sacs of the broodmother were able to be distilled into a paralysis potion. Just this small blue vial here. And I'll hold it out in front of them.
Ooh.
This can paralyze a person for half a day. In addition, if it's a half-sized person, it could paralyze them for a full day, or you could paralyze two half-sized people for half a day.
Yep.
Interesting. Oh, I can't wait to watch that one. I mean, it's kind of weird, but yeah, that could be amazing.
Also,
Paralyze anyone. So, like, a guard in front of a, I don't know, vault full of jewels or something. Spitballing here off the top of my head.
it would work.
Knock them out for 12 hours.
That does sound illegal, but it would work. Probably. Also,
Interesting. Okay.
I have a very intense love of potions, and she gifted me this beginner's guide to alchemy. So I'll be able to study some of the fundamentals of how to craft my own potions.
See, that is perfect. You love potions. That's excellent for you. You must have had quite the night for her to bestow such gifts upon you, Carl.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to, like, friendly, like, nudge him in the shoulder with my fist, like, haha. Secret knowledge, making eye contact. We're not saying it out loud, but
We did have a very deep connection, more so than I do with most people. She knows more of my story now. Basically, about the same as you two do, of why I was cast out of my tribe.
oh my. So this is a real connection then.
Mm-hmm.
What's her name?
Who wrote it down? Did someone write it down?
I did. I have it, but I'm not telling you.
I will say I addressed her respectfully every time without using her name. Just
That
so
is
we're
a
clear.
low blow, Mendax. That is a low blow. You will be remembered for this. That is a low blow. Yikes.
I believe her name was Elf Druid. Oh no, Elf. I don't think Elf's her name. Sorry.
Wow.
I keep a rather
Friends,
detailed journal, but perhaps I am noticing some. I always thought all people were equal, but I guess I do have a tendency to see the race rather than the person sometimes, since I
Wow.
6 different entries just called her
Wow,
Elf Druid.
Nigel.
I'm sorry, I normally I'm much more
Wow,
personal than
Nigel.
that. I didn't get the dwarf's name either. Is it all non-humans? I'm not sure. I remember you two's names, and you both are very different.
You
people.
don't remember Tommen?
I
Tommen
didn't.
the Senior and his son Tommen Jr.
After Peter reminded us, yes, of course, Tommen, yes.
You
Can
know
I
we
say
can all
something?
agree on.
Can I say
Sure.
something? A name
Absolutely.
is given to a small child before they know which way is left and which way is right. But who we are as people is defined by our deeds, by our words, by our bonds, and by our story. You can understand someone very deeply. Their name is just a label. But well played, Mendax. It was a nice job.
That's very true. And if I'm being completely honest, I don't remember her name either. So, same boat you and I, except I have zero connection with her. But I can see that you're a bit changed from your night with the druid, and I'm happy for you. I'm glad that you found that connection.
Well, I am going
Right
to
on.
actually go and make myself a better person and learn the name of this druid. And also find out if, since she's an elf, she knows anything about hot ghost elf babes. I'll see you guys a bit later.
I'll
Don't
go
forget
with.
to get.
No, I'm going with you because I want to see this. I want to see how big her smile is after spending the night with Carl.
Okay. Yeah, you guys can head over to the druid's house.
Oh, before we leave, Carl, did you want to take the Griffin Feathers to get the reward? Did we sort that out,
I
guys?
actually have those. Yeah,
Who has those?
I think I have the Griffin. Oh, yes, I want those arrows. Where is the goblin? Where is he?
The goblin was going to give you money for the griffin's head. The
Oh,
gnome
the
was going
gnome.
to fashion the feathers into arrows. A gnomish woodworker.
Fair enough. Okay, you know what? You go, Nigel. I'm depending on you to give me an excellent report on how glowing the druid is when you go over there and talk to her. I am going to go take these feathers to get some excellent arrows made.
Indeed.
Okay.
Okay, Cole, what are you doing? Are you what's your plan?
Oh,
Are you
we
hanging
can,
in the tavern?
we can go back to the druid's place. I don't have any business in the tavern.
Okay, Call and Nigel will go to the druid, and Mendax will go to the gnome. So, the gnome, you ask around town, people point you. He lives sort of more towards the wooded area where you guys came from. It's not a forest, right? Remember, you guys are in more of like a Badlands type. There are like shrubs and there are kind of half-dead trees, but it's like the best that they can do in order to keep their town repaired and going, and you know, whatever else they need wood planks for and things like that. Yeah, you head over there. You see that the gnome is working. He's kind of sanding down some, I don't even know, some planks of wood. He's sanding them down. So, what do you want to do? He doesn't notice you come up.
I would like to clear my throat a bit loudly so that he hears me and turns around.
Yeah, he'll look back at you. Ah, the adventurer returns. What can I do for you? I understand you didn't kill that griffin. That's okay, I guess. Whatever.
Hello, no, we did not kill the griffin. We found, without a shadow of a doubt, over the course of our adventure, that the griffin was only acting out because of the massive amount of spiders controlled by the broodmother. So when we took out the broodmother and most of her spider babies, the griffin should just go back to being normal, living the safe, happy life of balance that you already had with it. So we didn't feel the need to kill another innocent creature without actual just cause. But I did find 3 different griffin feathers, and I remember you saying that you could fashion these into excellent arrows for me.
Griffin feathers, you say?
I do say.
Well, yeah, all of that with peaceful creatures and fairness and whatever. Okay, sure, whatever. That's what you and the druid all keep saying. Griffin doesn't bother us anymore. I guess you guys did what you needed to do. Well, let me see the feathers then.
Okay. I hand him all 3 of the griffin feathers.
Yeah, he'll kind of, he'll kind of stack them all 3 together. He'll hold them to, the light. He'll kind of take random measurements from some other tools that he has on his, work belt. He'll kind of inspect, how tough the actual, fibers are on the feather itself. You see he kind of, bites down on one of the ends of it to gauge, what the, I don't know, density something. He does it for some reason. Maybe he has no idea what he's doing and he just wants to pretend he looks like it. You go, yeah. I mean, I could fashion you some feathers, what you want, arrows, right? I can make these into some arrows. I guess it's the least I could do for, saving our town and whatnot, risking your necks.
Almost dying multiple times.
Yeah. That whole thing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Water under the bridge, really.
So, you want, 3 pretty good arrows or, 1 really good arrow?
What's the difference between a really good arrow and a pretty good arrow?
Well, the really good arrow, I use all 3 of these feathers and put it onto the arrow. Okay, you know how the arrow, right? Look at the arrows you got. They got the 3 feathers that come off of it, right? Make it fly straight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, griffin feathers, they got this, I don't know if it's magic or if it's just some, I don't know what the hell it is. Anyways, they fly real damn good through the air. Even just having 1 of them on your arrow can increase the accuracy of that arrow by quite a bit, as I understand. I mean, I'm no archer myself, keep in mind, but I've seen a couple of shots every now and again. But I figure I put 3 of these bad boys on one of them, and
All right. Well, I think I'll just go ahead and go with 1 awesome arrow. I would like to, while I'm speaking with him, or while he's talking and explaining things to me, I would like to give him a very thorough once-over, subtly, to see if there's perhaps anything on his person that I might find valuable.
Sure. I mean, he's got various tools. You don't really know the value. You know that some specialist tools can be worth quite a sum of money. But in this instance, you don't know if they're cheap and terrible. They're not encrusted with gems, if that's what you're looking for.
No rings, no necklace, no exceptionally well-made shoes.
No, he has a simple copper ring on one of his fingers, and that's pretty much it. This is not a rich town. It's a steal from people, if that's what you're looking for.
First of all, again, domestic foraging, DM.
Yeah.
Thank
foraging
you.
domestically. Sure.
Okay, then I'll
Stealing-
just go. I'll go ahead and just say, yeah, you know what? Let's give me the one super arrow. The one super arrow would be perfect.
All right. Come back tomorrow. I'll have it done for you then.
Okay, tomorrow. Excellent. I can do that. Thank you so much. I shall be back tomorrow.
Yep.
And I think I'll leave then, and I will go head to the druid's house. Where my compatriots are.
Okay.
Just-
Yeah. While
just-
you. Yep.
Can you guys
hear
hear
Pig? Yeah.
Okay,
I,
good.
I
Just
can.
go on. Great.
Nice. While you were interacting with the gnome, Nigel and Call made it to the druid's house well before you made it out to there. You guys knock on the door. She answers. Call, Nigel. Good to see you. Nigel, I just want to say thank you again so much for your deeds for this town. It means so much.
Why, thank you so much, Wise Druid. I'm sorry, but I'm tired from our journey. Could you remind me of your name, please?
No problem. It's a little bit difficult to say in common, but I simple it down to Navilla.
Well, thank you so much for your gratitude, Navilla. Your town has been most welcoming.
We are simple people, but we are hospitable, and we try to welcome in those who need some rest, especially those who have done so much for us. So,
I was hoping to
Please.
consult you and ask, you have some knowledge of magic in nature, and on the
Bit.
road from Lakewood to here, I had a very bewildering experience, and I've read many books on all sorts of different magical phenomena, but I've never read anything quite so strange before. I was on watch one night in the forest, and I saw a light, and I followed it, and I can only describe it as a very attractive specter of a ghost, an elven female, seemed to lure me and almost charm me. I remember being in an altered state of some sort, and she handed me this mirror. I was wondering, I can't seem to figure out what sort of magical properties it has. It is a mystery to me. And then the spirit disappeared. Do you have any idea? Have you heard stories in this area of this same experience?
You were seduced by an elf ghost. Yep, totally got it. No problem.
Yeah.
I mean, I myself, I'm not overly familiar with specters and wraiths. I do know normally they are malevolent, as opposed to ones to give gifts. She'll take the mirror from you and kind of look at it. Mirror, it looks like a normal mirror to me.
It doesn't show my reflection at all. Does it show you your reflection?
Oh, yeah. And she'll kind of turn so that, oh yeah, look at that. You guys aren't in it. Haha. I thought maybe you just had too many of those mushrooms that Call had the other day and hallucinated the whole thing. Guess somehow you came into possession of this mirror. Yep. Her reflection is in it. Yours and Call's is not.
The mystery continues.
Do you think there's
Mendax
something
also
wrong with us,
shows
Nigel?
a reflection. I haven't noticed any vampire bites. The only stories I've heard of creatures with no reflection is vampires. But I guess there are some tales of things from other levels of being, other levels of reality, but it's far beyond my scope of understanding, and I really don't understand what the deal is with this mirror. I think we just need to keep searching out people with greater knowledge of the magic and the arcane, and especially of specters and succubi, and potentially someone may know something.
Well, best of luck. Sounds all rather curious, but seems like curious things happen to you and your friends all the time. Here you go. And she'll hand the mirror back to you. It's very pretty.
Thank you for taking a look.
Yes, of course. Sorry I can't be of more help. It doesn't have to do with, well, you know.
Indeed. Well, thank you very much for your hospitality. And for now, we must stock up on more provisions before the long road to Tol Karabad.
Absolutely. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help you further.
Thank you very much, Navilla.
Of course, Call. Good to see you again. Hope you stop in before you leave for good. Yeah, she'll... If you need something else, she's more than happy to help you, but she'll go back to whatever she was doing. She did look kind of tired, as you imagine she didn't sleep last night to kind of work through all of the notes and mysteries and things like that. And she might be heading to sleep.
Yes, well, you know, if I want to continue this new road I have to being a more durable wizard and getting a little bit more bulked, I think I definitely need some protein for the road. So,
Sure.
shall we go and stock up on some meat, fam?
That sounds prudent, especially if we run into a griffin again, who's in a bad mood.
Okay. Yeah, Mendax will say that you make your way, you're heading over to the druid's house, but you see that Nigel and Call are walking towards the butcher's shop. If you would like to go after them.
Oh, yes, I'm joining with them. We're going to go to the butcher.
Okay.
Oh, Call Nigel. And then I run up. How was the druids?
Her name is Navilla.
Navilla. That's right. That is right. Navilla. Absolutely. It's a beautiful name for a beautiful druid.
She didn't quite know what to make of the mirror. She showed up in it as well, so both you and Navilla were visible in its reflection. However, Nigel and myself were not.
Do you think it only likes women?
I'm not sure. That would be a common thread between the two of you. However, both Nigel and myself have had a hot elf ghost babe experience.
That's true, and I've not had a hot elf ghost babe experience.
Yes,
I mean, other than on stage in Forest Fantasy 7.
yes.
We should test it one more time and see if it's dick compatible, since we're heading that way anyway.
Oh, can we please show it to Dick?
Let's see if he has a reflection.
We should whip it out when we can see him.
Very good. It's always good to be thorough with your testing.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you guys walk into Richard's meat shop, and yeah, he's behind the counter. He has a like a large flank from a cow, and he's just slamming it onto the wooden table over and over. Oh, it's a good workout time today!
Oh, Dick, you are seriously beating that meat, aren't you?
Every day at 2 o'clock, like I said the first time.
Twice a day, that's right.
Oh yeah.
Dick.
So what can I do for you today?
Well, sir, we ate all the meat that you gave us last time. We used some of it as bait for the griffin, and it worked out nicely. And I wanted to pass along the compliments from the griffin about the quality of your meat.
Oh yeah! My meat is the best meat.
Could we
Hey,
perhaps
Richard.
purchase some more meat for you for our next journey?
Oh yeah, of course. More than happy to sell to some happy customers. What kind can I get for you?
How much dried meat and that which is, of course, treated for long lasting on the road do you have?
Long-lasting meat is definitely preferable.
Let me check my wares. And he will head to the back room, and he'll kind of like, as if he's listening to like a song in his head, kind of jazz his way back out with a kind of like a crate, and he'll like pop it on the table. Oh, I got all
What
this.
on the table?
The
His meat.
crate, the crate full of dried
Oh,
meat.
the crate on the table. Okay, just making sure.
Yep.
All right.
Here you go.
So there's normal cost-efficient provisions, but we're going to go a bit heavier to make sure we have plenty of protein and sustenance for our journey. So, let's figure out a rough amount to sustain us. How much to fill our packs with a hefty amount of Richard's meat?
Yeah, I mean, you recall a conversation you had with one of the, I think it was either the innkeeper, may have been the goblin, I can't remember which one exactly right now, but that the city of Tol Karaban is like another 4 days, like 4 days of travel down the road. So, I mean, you figure if you're going to do like 0 foraging, 0 hunting, that sort of stuff, you can probably fill everyone's like packs for like 10 gold. He'll sell it to you for like 7 gold, 6 gold, because you guys assisted the town in such a big way.
Oh,
He is a generous stick.
I will pay.
My whole family is generous, and so am I.
And there you go, 6 gold, good sir. And Dick, before we do go, I wanted to see, could you look at this mirror? Do you see your reflection?
No!
The theory holds. So far, we haven't.
So
No
far,
men. No men.
Absolutely. Now, I know I don't have any root proficiency in nature. I mean, Carl, I know that you do. If we were in a situation where we had to hunt something and butcher it, would any of us know how to pound that meat? Or, since we're here, could we ask Richard, our friend Richard, to show us how he pounds his meat so that we might know how to do so in the future should it become necessary?
So ask him that question.
Richard,
Oh.
Dick, friend
Yes.
Dick, would it be possible for you to show us how you pound your meat, just in case we ever have to go hunting in the forest and we have needs to butcher our own protein? Can you show us the most efficient way to pound our meat?
Well, of course I can. Anything for some friends. And then he will he'll grab like a couple of like stakes from some kind of hooks and racks that he has, and he'll put 3 of them down. Everybody grab on, and you just go like this. And he kind of like does this like, it almost looks like, have you ever seen somebody like try to make like pasta dough, where they like just like like this really crazy intricate movement? Yeah, kind of like that.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba. Like that?
Oh,
So we're all
he's got
pounding
it.
the meat now.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba.
Yeah, you give it a try.
Okay,
Better?
Oh,
Better?
yeah. Okay, that's pretty good.
slap. No,
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba.
no, I don't think I'm
That guy has got it.
Wait,
I
one
tell
more
you
time.
what.
One more time.
Yeah, watch him. He's got it.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba.
Yeah, just like that. He's got it.
Okay, well, if we come across any meat in the forest, then I think we know who's going to be for sure.
He is
Carl's
a born
got that on
match.
lock.
Yeah,
I'm
The
useless.
Kenku, the barbarian, beats the meat. He beats the meat.
Dick, you are such an excellent friend. You are just a gift that keeps on giving, over and over.
Aw, that is such a nice thing to say.
Thank you for doing business with us, sir. We have to go far away to the land of Tol Karaban.
Oh, it is very hot over there. Have fun.
Thank you.
Bye.
Can I make a very long, lingering bit of eye contact with Richard as I leave the butcher shop, and then wink at him?
Richard is confused. Bye-bye, nice lady.
That was a moment they had.
Yeah, we had
Yeah.
a moment, a definite moment.
All right.
I'm going to shut the door of the butcher shop behind me, and then I'm going to heavy sigh and stand there for a moment. before I follow on behind Carl and Nigel.
Sure. You leave the meat shop of Richard Dixon, and you guys have your rations restored. Plenty to go around. -6 gold. If you want to split it, it'd be 2 each. Or if someone's
Yes, I'll
covering
take
it.
2 out of mine. Definitely split. Split that dick. Let's go.
Perfect.
Share the load.
Indeed. All right, so you guys are stocked up on rations. You've got some potions and other fun items. Anything else you guys want to try to do? It is probably a little like early afternoon. You could start today, but you have your arrows, so you should.
I have my
probably-
arrow. Yes, I stopped by our little gnome friend, and he is making me an exceptional arrow. But he said it won't be done until tomorrow. Granted, I also don't necessarily believe that he's capable of creating something amazing. So if the two of you are really, gung-ho to leave today, I'm fine with leaving today. But if we could wait one more night, rest up again, that would give Carl one more night with the very fine druid whose name I absolutely remember.
The
Begins with
gnome
an N.
rushes over. Wait! I finished it early. Here you go. Bye.
It's a very industrious gnome, that one. You can really get an
Wow.
arrow together at a pinch.
Oh my god.
Okay, well, I mean, I have nothing else to stay in town for.
Let's hit the road.
I would like to, since we're not visiting the druid again, just drop off a piece of paper, maybe a blank page from the alchemy intro book that has nothing on it. Rip it out and just on it say, "Thank you, signed Carl," and then slide it by the doorstep.
Wait, just thank you.
Yes,
Carl, you can do better than that.
I'm not a romantic. I'm a kenku.
Of course you're... just because you're a Kenku doesn't mean you can't be romantic. You shared a connection with her.
You should draw like a beak on it or something, King.
Yes,
Carl.
like, draw a very large beak. And say thank you, and then... I don't know.
I think it's
press your
perfect.
feather, like leave a feather, like an extra feather with
Actually,
it.
never mind. I say that one. That one's good.
You think I should leave a feather?
Yeah, say thank you. Draw a very large beak, a generous beak. Leave a feather with it, and we'll slide it under the door.
I don't know if she wants a picture of my beak.
I want a picture of your beak. What's wrong with your beak?
Druids love pictures, unsolicited pictures of beaks. The bigger the better.
I like the feather idea. This is my choice, okay? Thank you. Let me
Just
do
make
my thing, all right? I'm gonna say thank you, Carl, and I will put one of my nice feathers there, and then we can be off.
It's
think
a
that's
very
beautiful.
it's a very thoughtful letter. That's very
It's a
thoughtful.
very thoughtful thing. I mean, honestly, it is your choice. I am pro beak, pro beak pick.
Carl, you wrap a you get some parchment. You write your note. You kind of wrap one of your nice feathers in there, and you tie it up with a bit of twine, we'll say, and kind of pass it under the door as you guys head out of the town. So Mendax, you can put we'll just say arrow of precision in your inventory. And unless anyone has anything else, you guys are heading out of the town.
I have nothing else. I don't believe. I mean, I bathed, cleaned, had my air.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
The whatever townspeople are there kind of crowd around, wave you guys off, say thank you again. You receive some very small, fruits maybe, or like here's an apple. It's kind of their way of like, I don't have much, but here you go. Thanks so much for saving our lives.
Very sweet.
And you walk down the path, and you make it. I don't know, maybe walking for 10 or 15 minutes, and in a very cinematic fashion, you see in the distance the griffin flying overhead with a very pleasant kind of, I would say screech, I guess. That's like the best word I got for it. Almost as a thank you, and go past into the mountains and the clouds. Perfect. And I think
I'll
we'll
be
go
honest.
ahead.
For a second, I thought he was going to swoop down and try to fucking eat us. Oh shit! Thought things were going to escalate very quickly.
The griffin's back. No, you are set. You are safe, and you get the feeling that it's all is well in the village of Indorith, thanks to the 3 wayfarers who have traveled through. And I think this is a perfect segue for the end of this episode. I think we will get on with the path to Tol Karabad next time. But well done, everybody. Some very unexpected troubles with leaving that cave that I did not foresee.
That Nigel. Toss that Nigel.
You've instilled a phobia of heights in Nigel as the world has never seen before. You've got some really nice gear, and you're all packed up and ready to go on your trip. Don't forget, none of you guys brought it up or tried to think about it, I don't think this time, but those rings that you have do have those spider emblems kind of now branded into them. So there's a little bit of investigation that can be done around that. But yeah, besides that, I think that's gonna call it for us.
I think
anything?
Personally, just want to say very proud that more episodes than not, I have had to get or salvage a new piece of clothing from Mendax. So it's fantastic. 2 or 3 pairs of shoes, at least. Is that the first or the second pair of pants?
It's the second pair of pants, yes.
It's the second pair of pants. It's just great we happen to have a personal wardrobe assistant with us, so thank you, Mendax.
I was in the theater, and actors and actresses are never satisfied with their shoes or their costumes, so I always need to have more.
It's much appreciated. My dignity respects it and appreciates it.
I had an excellent time, and I'm glad that we all survived.
Me too. It was looking dicey there for a second.
Oh, it was quite dicey.
Yeah. I didn't realize the most dangerous thing would be leaving the spider cave.
Well, last time we just all jumped over it without issue.
Yes. Everyone jumped just fine. This time it was not that way.
I had the opposite of the battle trance. It was like rolling 3s and 1s constantly.
Oh my gosh.
Oh boy. Well, again, guys, I'd like to say thanks for the guys over at Soundtail for providing the awesome backtrack music.
So
I've been enjoying it quite a bit. I think it adds a lot to these sessions. So yeah, make sure guys go check them out. Go show them some support. We definitely are fans. I think I'm definitely gonna go and support that myself as well. But yeah, guys.
It's actually very cool. The music, I've been really enjoying it. We can hear it. We couldn't in the 2 weeks ago, or whatever it was, the first one we did, but it's actually been really nice just being able to hear it as we play.
A little bit of background noise,
so
you know.
good.
Yeah, I like it. It's really perfect. It seriously is pretty killer, guys. So check it out. Check it out for sure.
Ladies
But
and gentlemen,
yeah, I mean,
our story is not over. It has only just begun. Wayfarers, episode 9. Not next Thursday, but the one after that. Every 2 weeks, we're coming at you with the most amazing Dungeons & Dragons content in the world. Until next time, from me, Carl, Mendax, the Tiefling, Nigel, the Wizard, and Apoptosis, the Goblin King himself, and Cobra Venom, putting us all in a bathtub. Thank you. And we'll see you soon.
take care, everyone.